even as he hints at a ceasefire that could be close.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely.
More than half of us are struggling to afford everyday essentials. Many of us are dipping into our savings just to get by.
And the NHS is set to ration hospital referrals, with GPs told to hold back 1 in 4 patients as ministers scramble to cut waiting lists.
Police say they're keeping an open mind on motive after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians in Derby. But counter-terrorism officers are assisting the investigation.
Disgraceful, but I think it's really hard to manage as well, really hard to police and control. So I'm not sure what else they could do about it, but I know it is rife and that we're being overly cautious with our phones while we're here,
And the Lib Dems say that phone theft has effectively been decriminalised, with new figures showing over 99% of cases never result in a charge.
The electric vehicle push is branded a joke, as car dealers warn demand simply isn't there as the 2030 petrol and diesel ban looms.
And would you trust AI to run your love life? Tinder is rolling out artificial intelligence to matchmake a new generation of daters. We'll be debating that later this morning.
And in sport this morning, Spurs sack Igor Tudor and are now looking for another new manager, but someone who could keep them in the Premier League. Let's see. In a new Premier League survey, 75% of fans want VAR scrapped. Tell us something we don't know. And after a young winner and a bad crash at the Japanese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen wants out.
Hello there, good morning. A chilly day ahead with sunshine and showers, but something a little warmer on its way this week. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, we are going to debate it a little bit later on, but this whole AI dating app thing, I can't get... I mean, young people now, they don't want to go out and meet people in pubs anymore.
Oh, Adam, why are you saying young people and looking at Paul Coit?
Well,
he's right, he's absolutely when he's talking to young people. Yeah.
You know, Dawn.
Comparatively.
It's comparatively. So they don't want to go out, and so they all go on the dating apps.
Yeah.
Now they don't even want to go through the dating apps. They want a computer to tell them who is their best match.
It's probably a good idea, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
What? Isn't it?
But why would you trust a computer to say...
Well,
what do they know about chemistry?
I don't know. See, give it a go. Yeah, I don't see it'll be too much of it. It's probably a good idea, isn't it? Like a step up now?
Am I the only person left on the entire planet that doesn't really know what Tinder is?
Don't tell lies.
I get it's a dating app, Oscar.
Don't
stop
tell
it.
lies.
I get.
I mean, you might not have been on it.
No.
I've never been on Tinder, but I know what it is.
Right,
that you swipe through people.
Well, I vaguely got it, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even do it now, to be honest with you.
So hold on, when you say about the swipe it, see, I don't, because the thing is, I got married quite a few years ago.
Exactly.
So you
put your details in, and they sort of roughly pair, as far as I know.
Wherever you are.
And it roughly pairs you up with people, and then you swipe
in
through,
the area.
And you swipe through. We should ask Oscar, he'll know. You swipe
I'm off camera. I'm staying out of this.
You swipe through people who you might be interested in, and you can like them or not like them.
Right.
But with this one, it gets rid of the swiping, and it just gives you a list of people you are matched with.
Yeah. Do you reckon it might be more, and you think, oh my goodness me, am I that bad? You know what I mean?
Does anyone tell the truth in any case?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Would you?
As us three are happily married, I don't know.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Not to each other, by the way. That'd be wrong.
Is it allowed just to have a look, though? Just to maybe if you're married?
No, it is not. Well, I'll tell you what.
That was just a joke, by the way.
I'll let me message
Put yourself in.
Let me message Sue now.
Okay,
fine. All right.
He's doing it purely. Listen, I'll just let you know. I'm doing it for work, that's all.
Paul just wants to know, can he go on Tinder?
I'm meeting her just purely for research purposes.
Never do any better than your missus. She's lovely.
Thank you. I agree.
She's properly nice. I mean, you do, when you see them together as a couple, you think, how's he managed this?
OK, here we go. How many times do I hear that?
And she has got the patience.
Yeah, you're
of a saint.
punching. I know I am.
Yeah, it's true, though. All right, look, we better crack on with some serious stuff, should we?
Do we have to? We really have to,
afraid
don't
so,
we?
because there are real concerns over fuel supplies, with industry leaders warning that disruption to these key shipping routes is, well, we know it is, pushing up the costs.
Yeah, the Prime Minister is set to meet business leaders in Downing Street later today to talk about the impact of the Iran war on Britain.
Well, it comes as a new consumer study reveals half of us here in the UK are dipping into our savings or even selling possessions to cover the cost of essentials.
Oh, dear lordy. OK, former political advisor Oscar Redrop now joins us to explore this story more. It's just frankly quite depressing. It doesn't sound... So the Prime Minister's meeting fuel bosses today over these shortages. Is it going to make any difference?
I would hazard a guess that, unfortunately, probably not. This is, again, being really objective, in my time at Number 10, when the cost of living crisis after COVID, when that phrase really first entered our world in a way, meeting the private sector was incredibly important, but they just end up often being talking shops. And people watching this now, because they'll get all the cameras in Number 10, they'll show this meeting, you know, the round table, if you like. And if you're watching this now, if you do not see at the end of it something substantive, like actual policy that is going to support people's bottom line at the end of it, then you can infer from that it has been a complete and utter PR exercise.
Well, all right. So, well, in that case, why are these bosses being hauled into Number 10 to talk about it when it's in the government's gift to do things like alter fuel duty, alter green levies, get rid of VAT on fuel, and even start with the new licences and drilling in the North Sea, which wouldn't have an immediate impact but would bring in tax revenue in the next 12 months and significant tax revenue. So there's all these things in the government's gift, so why then haul the bosses in who presumably can't do a great deal?
Because it is a way of looking busy and not actually making those decisions. I mean, in fairness to Keir Starmer, what I would say is his whole approach, I think, really, ultimately, the bigger picture is promoting de-escalation. And he will see that as the ultimate way of getting energy prices down and people's bottom lines being eased on this issue. But you're right. I mean, it is ludicrous. We buy our gas from Norway, and we can produce it here in the UK, and we do not drill like we should. I think, you know, Kemi's been out and about making a very, very big play on that, and she is right to. And it isn't a one or the other, because you'll hear the Labour Party and Labour ministers talk about, well, it's about renewables, and, you know, but it's not a one or the other. You know, and Kemi and the Conservatives, and neither Reform, are saying that, oh, we want to do away with certain types of renewables. It's just adding to what we can do. And I think, you know, when you go through the other stories today in terms of people dipping into their savings, this is when Keir Starmer, I've sensed, has slightly enjoyed the Iran conflict, because he's got to do the global diplomacy thing, you know, the statesman stuff on the world stage, you know, EU nations are bringing them all together, and he loves all that. He loves that. It's where he feels safe. But now this is a cost of living crisis. People will forget about what's going on in Iran, unfortunately, fortunately, whatever your politics is. They will just be thinking about what is happening to my bills when I turn up at a pump, my food costs, you know, and that is where this crisis is now heading. And I don't have any faith that Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are truly going to be on top of this. I really don't. And I think many people out there won't have that faith.
Well, I mean, back in the beginning of March, which we're now coming to the end of March, he says, checking the newspaper nervously, the fuel bosses wrote to the PM then, saying, you've got to get a grip on this, this is going to get very bad. We're now nearly a month on from that, and he's just got around to talking to them.
That's a really, really valid point. But it is on these issues, on domestic issues that require really decisive action, Keir Starmer takes too long. On the world stage, sometimes that works with diplomacy, you know, less is more. But honestly, when people are looking at their bills, you know, they will want action. And I tell you the action they probably won't want. And I had a big argument with my mates over this at the weekend. We don't tend to get too political. But ultimately, the government have made decisions that prioritise welfare. And, you know, the government doesn't have some, like, big pot of money. It is our money. And so when you look at, you know, people who are working hard to make ends meet, The government have made decisions, and they are looking at putting a package together for those on welfare in terms of energy costs. There are people who are breaking their backs working who may not get direct support. And that is a political decision, and I don't think it's the right one. I don't think that's fair. When you take it on the terms of a government that spoke about working people just constantly, they're the people being let down.
Yeah, which is, I mean, look, I mean, if people are on welfare, of course they've got to be helped. But it's the idea of the fact that those working are being ignored. I suppose the argument is, well, a lot of working people at the lower end are on benefits as well, and therefore they're encompassed with some of this. But
that's why
nevertheless, it's these working families who are really, really struggling now.
Absolutely, and I think Keir Starmer has made some decent decisions with this conflict in terms of not rushing, not jumping the gun. But on this issue itself, there are some real easy wins that he just seems to, they are refusing to do. It feels like, which is green taxes on our energy bills. Green tax, get rid of them, get rid of VAT on our energy bills.
But this is, hold on a minute.
Just do these little...
But this is a fundamental fuel issue, right, because of this conflict. It's all about oil, basically, oil and gas, of which he has conceded absolute control to Ed Miliband.
Yes.
That is the political point here. We've seen it on immigration, where he's really softening on immigration, the noises that are coming out of Number 10. But
Because of Angela Rayner.
Spot on. So immigration policy is being nudged along by Angela Rayner now, and you're absolutely right. A lot of our policy, particularly in this area, it is now being nudged along by Ed Miliband. And so, you know, from a political standpoint, in terms of where he is with his Labour MPs, you know, Keir Starmer's probably in a pretty good place, the best place he's ever been. But in terms of delivering for the people that voted him, which were and they made such a big deal of it, those hard-working Brits, he is moving further and further away from them. And so, honestly, I would love to be wrong. If you can, if you're watching this, follow this, you know, round table with business leaders and see if anything comes out at the end of it. If not, it's all just been a big, you know, mirage.
Yeah.
Performative.
Yeah. All right, Oscar. Thank you very much indeed. Well, in the Middle East, Israel says it is expanding its operation in southern Lebanon.
Yes, US officials are also preparing options for possible ground raids in Iran.
Tehran has warned it will retaliate if troops enter the country.
And breaking overnight, US President Donald Trump has hinted at potential ceasefire.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely. They've destroyed a lot of additional targets today. The Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone, we know that. But we destroyed many, many targets today. It was a big day. And we are negotiating with them directly and indirectly.
Let's talk to former British Army officer Colonel Stuart Crawford. Good morning to you. What are we to make of this when we're being told there's, you know, progress being made on the peace talks, but obviously the troops are getting ready to take over Karg Island, which controls about 90% of Iran's oil refining?
Good morning. Well, I mean, like everything with Donald Trump, we're not really quite sure what is real and what is fantasy, if you want to put it that way. But there's no doubt that he is maintaining, either deliberately or just by default, an atmosphere of strategic ambiguity in that nobody really knows what the next step is. And perhaps he doesn't know either. And that probably suits him, because you don't want to telegraph your intentions to your enemy. But there seems to be a sort of carrot and stick approach to negotiations between the USA and Iran. Negotiations taking place, so we're told, but a continuation of raids and military action. So it's a sort of two-strand approach. As for the troops that are now in, the US troops that have been moved into the region, they may be in the region of about 10,000. All I would say is that in 1991, for Desert Storm, there were nearly 700,000 US troops for that operation. So we're a long way away from that at the moment.
And how important is it the Houthis are now getting more involved? We saw at the weekend there were several exchanges between them and Israel. I mean, they're not to be underestimated, are they? And they're declaring that they're going to get very involved until Israel and America stop bombing.
Yes, that's very true. In many ways, the impact of the Houthis entering the fray is not perhaps quite what it might have been before. They did, as you'll recall, interfere with commercial shipping going through the Red Sea a couple of years ago, and the US and others retaliated. They haven't done that yet. They've lobbed a few missiles and drones at Israel and elsewhere, but they haven't yet attempted to close any part of the Red Sea. And until they do, then they haven't really played their major card. And having said that, a lot of commercial shipping, which used to go through the Red Sea, now goes around the south of Africa and continues to do so. So their impact on the commercial shipping is not going to be as great as it was the time before.
You said, and understandably so, that Donald Trump doesn't want to sort of telegraph the strategy to the Iranians, and we can understand that, but do you get a sense that he has an aim, that he knows what would define a victory in all of this?
Yes, I do. The problem is that what defines a victory for Donald Trump may not be what defines a victory for Israel and the other Gulf states. The sensible thing, or the obvious thing to do, would be to occupy Karg Island, take control of Iran's oil exports, and use that as leverage against the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Whether he will do that or not, and that's an operation which is perfectly feasible, although not without danger and not without difficulty. If he chooses to do that, then that would seem to be the obvious option. Others are talking about an incursion into Iran to seize the enriched uranium supplies, which are at Isfahan, I understand. That's a much more complex operation, but perfectly doable because Iran's ability to resist has been very much reduced.
But boots on the ground, that's the one thing everybody is worried about. It really ups the ante in this particular conflict. Where can you see that ending? How dangerous does that actually get for the likes of the UK, for example? Will we have to get more involved?
Well, I think inevitably the UK is going to get more involved the longer this conflict continues, because we are, by association and by default, drawn in on the side of the Americans and to a lesser extent Israel. But you're quite right. If you deploy ground troops, then we're talking about a completely different beast altogether. And the most important thing of any operation of this sort is to have an exit strategy. And the US has not been brilliant at having exit strategies in the past, if you look at Afghanistan and Iraq. So that's the most important thing. It's easy to start a war. It's much more difficult to end one.
OK, Colonel Crawford, it's always good to see you. Thanks very much indeed.
OK, let's have a look at the other stories coming into the newsroom. Counter-terror police are supporting officers in Derbyshire after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians. A 36-year-old man has been arrested, and police say they are keeping an open mind on the motive.
Campaigners and MPs are urging councils to improve paternity leave for thousands of dads. They're pushing for up to 6 weeks leave at 90% pay. Most still only offer the statutory minimum of 2 weeks.
And drivers are being warned to expect the busiest Easter roads in 4 years, with nearly 21 million journeys planned. Thousands of train journeys are also set to be disrupted by major engineering work.
You're on paternity.
Yes.
And I guess, you know, if you are a new dad, then, yeah, lovely to be able to have 6 weeks off with 90% pay. And I can see it's good for you, it's good for the family, it's good for everybody. But we're struggling with growth in this country.
Yeah.
And it's really, really bad for business.
That's what I'm thinking. If you're running a huge company, then fine, you might not notice it. But if you're running a small business, if you're trying to make a small business work with all of the other things you've had...
And you've got to keep paying someone, and they're not going to be in for 6 weeks. What are you meant to do? It's like it would cripple some companies.
It will. Well, I mean, many small businesses we know are throwing in the towel already. They just can't cope as it is.
I mean, I know it'd be lovely to do, but can we actually afford to do it? It's like the minimum wage, which they're saying, great if you're on the minimum wage and you get this big, well, it's not that big, but, significant increase. Great for you, fantastic. But if it's putting businesses out of work, then how is that good, actually, for anybody?
All of these things are perfect in an ideal world. Unfortunately, we live a very long way from an ideal world.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you'll have thoughts on that, gbnews.com/yoursay.
OK, and that, talking of ideal worlds, how's that weather looking? Is that ideal? Here's on a Quizzic, with all the details.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you all so much for getting in touch this morning. Some really lovely messages coming in. Yeah. So Susan says, Stephen and Dawn, my favourite couple. Aw, that's really lovely. Good morning, Susan. Thank you so much.
Not mine.
So please do keep me company. gbnews.com/yoursay.
I love her, really,
because I need some interesting, fun, stimulating company this morning, so you'll have to provide it, unfortunately, because other people are just aren't going to do the job, are they? Any case, Mr. Dixon, still to come.
Dr. Dixon. Yes, should we talk about phone snatching?
Let's talk about phone snatching, it's been decriminalised, evidently. That's all up next. This is GB News with me, Dawn Neeson, and some random bloke, not sure who.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show. It's not a bad brand. Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
It's 6:26 now. Has phone snatching effectively been decriminalised?
Well, newly released figures show over 99% of phone thefts reported to police did not result in a charge.
Well, phone theft is at its worst in London, where just 0.3% of cases lead to a charge.
Here is what pedestrians in Oxford Street had to say on the matter.
Disgraceful, but I think it's really hard to manage as well. I really hard to police and control. So I'm not sure what else I could do about it, but I know it is rife and that we're being overly cautious with our phones while we're here,
We have heard, that's why she's got a phone on the street.
so it reaches the street. So what did they say about it in the street?
That it's quite prevalent, and that, you need to, like anywhere you're travelling, you need to protect your belongings.
I used to work in London, and we used to quite frequently in the morning get warned that somebody I worked in a hospital, had their phone taken, particularly people on bicycles, and so I'm sort of just very mindful about walking along and not having my phone out.
Well, Hamish Brown was a DI for Scotland Yard, and he joins us now. Hamish, good to see you this morning. Is this the fault of the police or not? I mean, it can't be an easy sort of crime to track down.
No, I wouldn't say it is the fault of the police. And the ladies we heard just now in the introduction, I mean, they were all alluding that we've got to be more careful what we do. And I think that's right. And there's good advice out there. Something I should be taking more notice of, to be honest. Keep away from busy places, don't advertise you've got a phone. Once you've used your phone, put it away. You can buy lanyards, straps, that sort of thing. So simple things we can do. Don't leave it unattended. People put phones down in bars. I see it all the time. So do the sensible things, prevent it happening. But as far as the actual police activity is concerned, years ago they brought in something called screening. Is there realistically going to be a chance of solving the crime? If not, it's simply recorded. And they've got to be careful how they use their resources. But what does happen, and we see this, in fact it's up just now, isn't it, a raid taking place, from an intelligence point of view, they'll put it together and from time to time have raids. So that they are doing something, but when the snatch happens, it's very, very difficult. So I sympathise with the police there. But really, the public have their part to play. Don't hold the phone out, and please be vigilant. It's difficult, I know, but just think of the circumstances where you are, location, and something which has crept in. It's called shoulder surfing. People come behind you taking PIN numbers, that sort of thing. So have your wits about you. It's a changing sort of crime, but something that can be prevented with simple steps.
Yeah, Hamish, I do understand all that, and I do completely understand that police forces all over the country are underfunded, there's not enough people on the streets, etc., etc. But this is, once again, it's blaming the victims. It's like telling a woman, well, you were sexually assaulted because you were wearing a short skirt. You had your phone stolen because you were actually daring to use your phone. I mean, it's all very well telling us to, you know, take common sense and how we behave, etc., etc. But the bottom line is, it's the criminals that need sorting out, not the victims. And, you know, like everybody in London, I had my phone stolen. When I did report it, and I could tell them exactly where it was, nothing was done.
No, I don't think it is a matter of victim blaming, but it is trying to put the message out there to stop the theft happening in the first place. And I've explained ways of doing it, and I'm as bad as anyone else, actually. I just take the phone out and I forget about it until programmes like this come along. But the police do have limited resources. They are not going to blame the victim, but what they're looking at is, can we reduce the crime? And that's often what police are assessed on, reduction of crime overall. Now, for example, if you go out in the morning, well, you have, come to work, you're going to lock up your house, you might have an alarm, you've taken measures. Now, we wouldn't think twice about doing that. You wouldn't leave your door open, would you? And I think the same thing with other thefts as well. Simple measures can prevent the theft happening in the first place. It's not that difficult. It's just having that, being vigilant and being aware of the circumstances around you.
OK, Hamish, appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Hamish.
Have to say, I've just got a new one of these watches. So when I leave now here, I talk on this.
That's a really good idea until someone nicks your watch off.
Well, they can't nick the watch. I mean, it's strapped on. They'd have to snap your wrist off. But I mean, it does mean anyone you walk past can hear what you say, you know, what the other person's saying, because it's on the speaker. But it means you're not getting your phone out.
Well, but the thing is that we reported on a story not that long ago where a woman, she was following advice, like advice Hamish was given, right? She was a woman walking home at night from work. It was dark in the winter. She used her phone to talk to her husband. I'm coming home now. Here I am. She got her phone nicked by calling, like she was advised to do, for women's safety. The police had a go at her for using her phone as soon as she got off the train and was walking down the road. And it's like, well, on one hand, you advised me to use my phone to say I'm doing this and I'm coming home. On the other hand, you're blaming me for using my phone.
Yeah, you shouldn't be blamed for it. But, I mean, I get Hamish's point of you've just got to do what you can to be sensible. But, I mean, the idea that you've got a phone, you can never use it in public
it's just ridiculous.
Is crazy.
Criminals are winning.
Right, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that. But in the meantime, at 6:33, it's time for the Daily Reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufnell, a vicar in the Church of England. When my sister lived in Scotland, her neighbour had a huge whiskey collection covering one wall of his dining room. He called it his pension. The plan was to begin selling it when he neared retirement and live off the proceeds. Now imagine if he were to welcome in a friend and start uncorking his finest whiskies and pouring them some of each. It would say a lot about his love for them. Well, something very like that happened 4 days before the first Good Friday. Jesus was at a dinner when a lady called Mary knelt before him, opened an extremely valuable bottle of perfume, and poured the whole lot over Jesus' feet, every drop. It was worth a year's wages. And John tells us the house was filled with the fragrance. Some criticized her extravagance, but Jesus defended her because she was right to love and honor him like that. 4 days later, quite possibly with the smell of that perfume still clinging to him, Jesus died on the cross. And there he poured out his life in a far more extravagant display of love for the world. The Bible says this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. And if that is true, then the real question is whether I have really seen, as Mary did, how much he is worth.
I just think They're so nice. Just at the beginning of the day, just to breathe a bit. Because everything else is just so grim. It's like, and just sit back and take a little bit of time to think nice things.
What we call a daily devotional.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
OK, yeah.
Daily devotional. Very good. Just gives you something to ponder.
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
Right, now, if you are travelling to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A9 Kessock Bridge is closed to high-sided vehicles because of strong winds making driving difficult. On the M6 southbound, between junction 26 and junction 25 near Wigan, a road traffic collision has closed one of 4 lanes, with conditions expected to improve after 7:30 this morning. In Cambridgeshire, the A14 eastbound exit slip at junction 24 has lane closures after a broken-down vehicle, and traffic should ease after 6:45 this morning. And on the trains, Elna has disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate, and London Overground has no trains between Dalston, Kingsland and Stratford. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, this is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device, and as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country. There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor. Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dawdley, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Every week there are stories that shape the national conversation.
We'll be discussing that.
And on Saturday Morning Live, we break them down.
Is that true? This is fascinating, isn't it?
The politics, the headlines, the debates everyone's talking about.
And the questions that you want answered. Do you think that was a legitimate attack for him to make?
What led you to set up this fantastic movement?
You know what? It's a great question, Olivia.
So what are you waiting for?
Your weekend starts here. Saturdays at 10 a.m, only on GB News.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Right, we are absolutely thrilled to announce that GB News Breakfast has once again been nominated for Best News Programme at the Trick Awards.
Yeah, we've won this award for the past 3 years now, and we couldn't have done it without you, our loyal audience. But you do need to vote for us if you think we should win this year. You can vote now by scanning the QR code on screen or by going to poll-trick.org.uk. Thank you so much.
Right, there's 1.5 of them, of our previous ones.
The third one is mysteriously missing. You check your mantelpiece.
Yeah, everyone check the mantelpiece. Right, Paul's here. Maybe.
Where did it go? Do we not know? Did it just disappear?
I don't know.
Oh.
You haven't got it, have you, Quitey?
I might do.
No.
Need something to pop the toilet door open with.
I did actually wear it as a medallion.
Oh, that could be it.
It was very impressive.
That could be it.
I unscrewed the base, couldn't get the base back on, so yeah.
Did you give it to Igor Tudor as a goodbye present?
Oh, my goodness me. So, Igor Tudor has left Spurs now, 44 days. Now, you probably know that there was the game where they lost against Nottingham Forest, which was last week, and then he found out that his father had passed away.
Yeah.
Very sad, and obviously everybody sends their condolences, etc., but the thing is, what do you then do if... Nobody's actually mentioned this because, you know, that's the elephant in the room. He's really on the verge of getting fired, but in a terrible situation like that, what do you do? And how do you can't actually go, you know what? Sorry, business is business. Sorry about that, but you're gone. But enough time has gone to be able to say that it was that they both agreed that that would be the best way to go. So he's now left. So Spurs now have 7 games left without a manager. I know who it's not going to be because I've spoken to a lot of Spurs legends who had put their hat into the ring that would say, and I've spoken to Glenn Hoddle, I was with Glenn Hoddle on Friday, and Gary Mabbott, and Ozzy Ardiles, and there's a lot of these players that, and it's probably no secret to be able to say, they have been happy to say, look, I'm prepared to help you out here. If you want us to do this until the end of the year, we'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
But coming back has been, I think we've got this. I think we're going to be OK. But we don't know who. We have no idea who. It looks like probably Roberto De Zerbi, who had success at Brighton, so relatively success at Brighton. But then again, you've got the situation where is a manager going to go to Spurs to think, if I go down, I don't want to be managing in the Championship? Are they also going to think, I'm going to be the guy, because all managers have got big egos, I'm going to be the guy that can turn this around, so I'm going to be the one. And also, how much are you going to pay me? Because what's the bonus going to be? Because if I manage to keep you up, this is worth a lot of... It's worth literally hundreds of millions to the club to stay in the Premier League.
Of course.
So to say, you know what, I want a bonus of 20 million. How about that? Who knows? So it's thought it will be this week, we will know. But at the moment, I mean, Harry Redknapp, I spoke to him as well. Harry looks like he's in the jungle, so he's not going to be around for a little while. So who knows where it's going to go? But probably the big money is going to be on Roberto De Zerbi, but he would want it on a permanent job. But also, he's going to need them to be in the Premier League.
I'm sorry, there's a poison chalice. I mean, seriously, 7 games to go.
I've offered my...
Have you?
I've said, look, if I keep you up 10 million, I'll take that. And a Trick Award. And for that, I'll be quite happy to stick around. But it really is, it's a real worry. And, of course, you know, with West Ham, you're a worry as well. And it looks like it's going to be between us and you.
Us, We could not be talking for the next 7 games worth of football.
I think we'll be OK.
Can we talk about VAR?
Yeah, quick word about that. It's been a survey. I'm just going to throw numbers at you. 8,000 Premier League club fans have been surveyed about VAR. What % do you reckon want VAR scrapped out of the...
Oh, quite a lot, I would think. More than half?
Yes, more than half.
Right, go on, I don't know.
75%.
Yeah. Right.
75% want VAR scrapped.
What are the other 25% thinking?
I know. This is it. Because I'm actually, I've got to tell you, I still think there's something in this. It's just the way it's been implemented, I think, is the problem. 90% say that their matchday experience is damaged because of it. 95% say VAR reviews take too long. That should be like 100%. The main thing, loss of spontaneity when celebrating goals, because you celebrate, you get excited, and then you have to wait, and then it's a disaster. So 82% of respondents said that they'd experienced a VAR decision inside a stadium. Surely if you've been to a stadium, you've seen a VAR decision, mate.
Yeah, you would think
But anyway, there's loads more numbers, and I'll go through them with you a little bit.
All right, lovely.
Brilliant.
Paul,
Thanks,
thank you.
Quitty.
Talking of numbers, here's a great British giveaway. It's a whopper.
We want you to enjoy unlimited Great British Getaways this year in your very own camper van. That's right, you could be the proud owner of a brand new Benivan 122. This very latest 2026 model comfortably sleeps 4, comes complete with built-in kitchen, compact washroom, front dinette, and is worth over £67,000. So if you're travelling with family or holidaying with friends, you know you'll be staying in comfort. But that's not all, as we'll also give you a further £25,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like in the coming year. Make sure you don't miss out on a prize package worth over £92,000. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, it's still to come. Making the news with Christopher Biggins and Scarlett Maguire.
First, so here's a European forecast.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A very unsettled spell of weather expected across the Mediterranean. Heavy rain here, but elsewhere, particularly across Western Europe, largely fine. The Canary Islands, much of Spain and Portugal, lots of fine settled weather and some sunny spells. But as we drift our way further eastwards, we can see this area of low pressure bringing in some widespread heavy outbreaks of rain, particularly across parts of Italy and also moving into parts of Greece. The unsettled weather is here to stay for the coming days, but across much of Spain and Portugal, remaining fine, sunny with some warm temperatures.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
What have you been up to? What have you seen?
Well, I've got something first that I'm wondering how many times you had to say in your career, Michael.
Sorry, Prime Minister.
Yes, I'm sorry,
Prime Minister. I am sorry,
Yes, I
probably did say it a few times. So this is, what, an adaptation of Yes, Prime Minister?
So this is the very, 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 very last chapter. So the two writers of this, Anthony Jay and Jonathan Lynn. Jonathan Lynn is still writing. The TV show ran in the 80s. Yes, Minister, Yes, Prime Minister. We've had a couple of plays and a large gap. Now we've got I'm Sorry, Prime Minister. This is the end of the sort of end of the line, very end of life. No one's dying, but it's Jim Hacker, the wonderfully inept, pompous, self-serving MP who became Prime Minister. He's now become master of an Oxford college in his own name that he's established with some very dodgy foreign money, but it allows him to stay there forever as master, or so he thought. However, he's carried on speaking and thinking without thought, and in our modern days, the college wants to get rid of him. So there's been a huge backlash against things he said about women, about minorities, about situations. Yeah. So all these themes come in, and then obviously Sir Humphrey, which you would know from the civil service, was his permanent secretary, who was the one that was always bamboozling him with those fantastically long, complicated explanations of things. That was Nigel Hawthorne and the wonderful in the original cast. This time we've got Griff Rhys-Jones playing Jim Hacker. For me, it's very different. It's a little bit broader, very entertaining. The show has always been funny, which is fine. This time they're bringing in cancellation. Should we judge art, themes, thoughts from the past by our modern standards? Also, for me, I found much more beautiful. It's about ageing. This is about people that were masters of their universe. They were kings of their castle.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
bad. Six-packs are awful.
Here we go. So, Christopher Biggins and Scarlett Maguire.
Oh, my God. We're already talking about six-packs, Scarlett.
Scarlett's talking about six-packs. Calm down, dear.
And my two favourite presenters. I love it.
No need to be sarcastic, Biggins. Right, should we have a quick look at Biggins in the Telegraph this morning? Labour's going to ration NHS referrals.
I know, they're very clever, this idea. They're marvellous the way they've organised this. They're going to ration hospital referrals as they scramble to meet their pledge. So they're not going to meet their pledge. So how do they do it? By saying to doctors, by ordering doctors that you can only refer a certain amount of people. You can't refer up to 4 people or something. I think it's ridiculous.
No, actually, to be fair, so it's 1 in 4. One in 4 have to be talked. Be guided by the consultant, because what happens? I mean, all of us who go to
just
GPs,
have to die, do we?
No, all of us who go to GP, you go to a GP and they go, I don't know what's wrong with you, I'll refer you to the hospital, and nothing happens. And actually, what this is saying is the consultant has to talk to you before you go in for an appointment, which I think is a really good idea. I mean, I often.
We do that anyway.
No, but this is saying rather than wait 6 months for an appointment. You know, if the GP isn't really certain what's going on, the consultant talks to you and they go, you know, well, actually, this isn't your problem. Your problem is something else.
Yeah, well, isn't that basically a referral if you go to your consultant?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what it's saying is it's advice and guidance rather than waiting the 6 months to actually go in and see somebody. I mean, it's just doing more telephone consultation. And I find, by and large, telephone consultation is fine. I don't think you always have to go in and wait ages to see a consultant.
I'll be completely honest, I don't understand that story.
No. And
nobody does.
There are other problems that the NHS have other than that, aren't there?
What the fact?
Well, yes.
One
or two, exactly.
Yeah. Where do we want to go? Oh, just quickly on the front page of the Daily Mail, Biggins. I think it's another one of yours, isn't it? Betrayal of the strivers.
Yes, well, this is. Have you had your increase in your whatever? You know, have you had a big cheque for
pension?
What is it now, £3,300 to help with the cost of living?
No,
what did he say? Pension? How rude, Stephen. Well, haven't you just heard that?
So
right.
Benefits claimants gets a 6.2% rise this week.
Yeah.
MPs receive the £3,300 cost of living handout.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of us
get nothing.
Hold on. Pensioners, as Christopher knows, get a massive increase, actually, come April the 1st.
Yeah, we do, actually. That's true.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the triple lock means that pensioners get nearly £1,000 a month.
All right, but hold on. Why are MPs getting £3,300 in a cost of living handout?
Well, it's part of
things are tough for them.
They earn £100,000 a year.
It's part of their 5.5%. It's not an extra. It's part of the 5.5% that they get. Some of it is cost of living.
5.5%.
I mean,
pay rise.
yeah. And
they're doing such a good job. Come on.
And of course they should be tied to different things. I mean, yes, they're well paid, and yet people from other countries say to me, "You don't pay your MPs well enough," and that's why you don't get the people. I think they're perfectly well paid myself.
Very well paid, thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyway, Rupert Loans from the... God, I've forgotten what the party is called, the one that isn't Reform. Anyway, whatever it is, he gives all his money to charity.
Well, excellent, and good on him for doing it, but clearly he can afford it.
I was going to say, he's got money there.
It's all right. Most of us actually have to live on our salary.
Yeah, I give my salary on this away. It's marvellous.
Do you?
Really?
I'm so rich.
But you give it to Dawn. It's not quite the same.
No, she's my big charity.
And your point is, yes.
How do you think she affords these wonderful outfits?
Well, exactly. All right, you two. Sadly, we're out of time. We'll have longer next hour. Thank you very much indeed. Time for the weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M8 westbound, traffic is restricted between Junction 5 and Junction 6 due to a road traffic incident. In Stockton-on-Tees, a broken-down vehicle is blocking one lane on the A19 northbound exit slip to the A1027. In Wigan, there is a lane closed on the M6 southbound between Junction 26 and Junction 25, following a crash. Additionally, on the trains, Elna is experiencing disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate, and London Overground currently has no trains operating to or from Stratford in London. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
You could be the proud owner of a brand new Benivan 122. This very latest 2026 model comfortably sleeps 4, comes complete with built-in kitchen, compact washroom, and is worth over £67,000. But that's not all, as we'll also give you a further £25,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like in the coming year. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the late edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, late edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Can the government get a grip of Britain's energy crisis?
Sir Keir Starmer is holding urgent talks with business leaders today as fears grow over fuel shortages and rising prices.
With a key global oil route disrupted and costs already climbing, how exposed are we to the deepening Middle East crisis?
Meanwhile, President Trump says he could take the oil in Iran, even as he hints at a ceasefire that could be close.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely.
More than half of us are struggling to afford everyday essentials, with many apparently dipping into savings just to get by.
And the NHS is set to ration hospital referrals, with GPs told to hold back 1 in 4 patients as ministers scramble to cut those waiting lists.
Police say they're keeping an open mind on motive after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians in Derby, but counter-terror police are assisting with the investigation.
Disgraceful, but I think it's really hard to manage as well. Really hard to police and control. So I'm not sure what else I could do about it, but I know it is rife and that we're being overly cautious with our phones while we're here,
And the Lib Dems say that phone theft has effectively been decriminalised, with new figures showing over 99% of cases never result in a charge.
The electric vehicle push is being branded a joke by some, as dealerships warn demand isn't there as the 2030 petrol and diesel ban looms.
And would you trust AI to run your love life? Tinder is rolling out artificial intelligence to matchmake a new generation of daters. We'll be debating that one later on this morning.
Maybe AI to run Tottenham Hotspur, there's an idea. Spurs sack Igor Tudor and now looking for another new manager, but someone who can keep them in the Premier League. Is a new Premier League survey, in a new Premier League survey, 75% of fans want VAR scrapped. Not a surprise, and after a young winner and a bad crash at the Japanese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen says he wants out.
Hello there, good morning. A chilly day ahead with sunshine and showers, but something a little warmer on its way this week. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's messaged in this morning with messages of sympathy for me. For working with Dawn.
That's not true.
I know, I've tried to avoid it for the last couple of months.
Lots of people are saying it's a lovely, wonderful combination.
Oh, you're not here, are you?
Your face was a picture, though, when Dawn walked in this morning.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I know.
It's a bit like, you know, that picture. What's the one, the scream?
The scream.
Well, I think it was more like an Oscar winner that finds out they've lost. It was like, yeah, it was one of those.
It's lovely to be here in any case.
I'm pleased to see you,
I love working with you all. Well, most of you.
Actually, I love the fact that we... And look, just before you do start messaging in, we actually really get on. But it's a lovely sort of... It's a lovely thing to keep going, this sort of... This love-hate
Quite his face. Quite his going... Really? What on earth is he talking about? Not for the first time.
You bought me a lovely gift for my 50th.
That was 20 years ago.
I bought you a nice gift for your 60th.
Oh, strong.
Which was also 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah, I ignored your 70th.
We're doing quite well, aren't we? But keep those messages coming in. It is a Monday morning. The news can be a bit grim, but, I mean, we're going to try and have some fun as well. gbnews.com/yoursay, or scan the QR code on your screens now.
Oh, yes, I didn't know we had a QR code for that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, I'd never noticed.
If you're really clever, you can point at it. See, I've learnt it now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
I know.
good.
I normally point completely the opposite direction.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. Oh, well done, you've learnt.
I know.
Television.
It's only taken 3 months, but at least I was aware it was there.
Camera right, they call it.
Oh, whatever.
Which is our left. Anyway, look, enough of that, because half of you are listening on the radio and you've no idea what she's doing. Neither do I.
Even people watching TV have no idea what she's doing, so...
Anyway.
Whose side are you on?
Mine.
Side,
cool.
You know I am. I know,
Right.
my bread's
Getting nagged now.
We do need to crack on because we've got a lot to crack through this hour. Concerns over fuel supplies. Industry leaders warning that disruption to shipping routes is pushing up the cost. Well, we know that.
Yeah, the Prime Minister is set to meet business leaders in Downing Street later today to talk about the impact of the Iran war on Britain.
Well, it comes as a new study reveals half of us are being forced to dip into our savings or even sell possessions to cover the cost of essentials.
Yeah, former political advisor Oscar Redrop is with us now to try and make sense of this. Oscar?
Yeah, it's pretty grim headlines. I feel like obviously the cost of living has never really gone away since COVID, but it's really being supercharged at the moment. And I think there is a sense that the stakes on things like the cost of living due to Iran and other factors, lest we forget, we still have obviously the Ukraine-Russia conflict. The cost of living is going to be the defining issue over the next year or so politically, and of course in a very real way for people in their households. There is I would phrase it as basically a talking shop today, being hosted Number 10 by Keir Starmer and execs at energy companies, financial services and the like, the private sector. Ultimately, people want to know, well, what is that going to do for me and my family and my life and my bottom bills? Am I going to see substantive policy? Are there going to be tax reductions off my energy bills? Are we going to start drilling in the North Sea? Is there going to be universal support on energy bills, a bit like Liz trusted in 2022?
We can't afford that, can we?
I don't think we can afford that. I have to say, Kemi, I think has come out and quite rightly said that actually, universal support in the face of big issues like this is not the way forward, actually. And we got in that headspace because of COVID, understandably, but it's not sustainable. In fairness, I think that's where the Labour Party see it, but where they're making the political decision here, apart from obviously not taking off, VAT on our energy bills, et cetera, little changes that could help a little bit, is that they're really looking at targeted support, ultimately, for people on benefits, whilst those that are not, but are still scrimping and saving every penny they have, probably won't receive support, and that is going to be that's going to be a tough decision, I think, for the government. I think it's going to be an unpopular one. Yeah. Only in that because they made such a big play about working people.
But this is why I don't understand why they're meeting the oil bosses and things today, because they're actually pretty limited in what they can do unless they say we're going to drastically reduce our profits, which, I mean, admittedly, they could do to an extent. But the people with everything in their potential to change it is the government.
Absolutely. I mean, and let's see, don't get me wrong, I will not write it off before it's even happened, but, to viewers watching, if this just drifts on by and you turn on the 6 o'clock news and you see the video of Number 10, doing a little round table and it's all... just see if anything comes off the back of it. I'm highly sceptical. I highly doubt it. The government probably just want to look busy on this. Starmer is putting all his chips in just hoping there is de-escalation in the region. And as a result, the looming oil and energy crisis subsides a bit. I don't think that's quite good enough. I think people will want actual action on this and actual kind of proactivity, which is not in Keir Starmer's wheelhouse, I think, as we, unfortunately
The thing is, Oscar, as Stephen's just pointed out, the only people that can actually do anything about this are the government, Keir Starmer or Ed Miliband, who's ever running this show. And, the supermarket bosses this week, the fuel bosses this week, have all come out and said the government are blaming us for everything that's going wrong. We're not doing anything wrong. They're blaming us for trying to keep our businesses going, basically, by making money. Whilst, they're losing the big business that they need to support them.
That's a really good point, Dawn, because I don't think the capital, if you like, this government has with supermarkets and the private sector, for example, is that great, because they've applied jobs taxes, business rates. So you're absolutely right. There'll be the private sector will be turning around to this Labour government now saying, well, why do you want us now? You've been really, Rachel Reeves' budget was incredibly unhelpful for us, particularly on that national insurance rises for business. And now you need our help. Well, I don't think we're particularly inclined to help you on this one. And so it's a really politically challenging thing for him. I think he's enjoyed this crisis a bit. It's shored him up because he does the EU nations all assemble and global statesman stuff. He enjoys that. He feels comfortable. Global legal structures and all the rest of it. But now that element of the Iran crisis has gone. And it is now a pure and simple cost of living crisis in this country. And I think he'll stop enjoying it pretty quickly now.
Its popularity is going up, though, isn't it, Oscar? I mean, it's still
well,
the least...
minus 50.
I know, but I mean, it is going up because it's standing up to Donald Trump.
But crucially, it's going up amongst his backbenchers MPs because they're the one driving this ship now.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. All right, Oscar. Thank you very
Oscar.
much indeed. Good to see you. Well, as far as the Middle East goes, Israel says it's going to expand its operation in southern Lebanon.
Yeah, US officials are also preparing options for possible ground raids in Iran.
Yeah, Tehran has warned it will retaliate if troops enter the country.
Yeah, and breaking overnight, US President Donald Trump has hinted at a potential ceasefire.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely. They've destroyed a lot of additional targets today. The Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone, we know that. But we destroyed many, many targets today. It was a big day. And we are negotiating with them directly and indirectly.
Well, let's talk to Defence and Foreign Affairs Editor for The Telegraph, Con Coughlin. Good to see you, Con. Is this, I mean, as far as what America is doing, is it a sensible move? They do seem to have some movement towards trying to take Karg Island, which we know controls 90% of the oil refining that Iran does. If they did that, Iran can't directly respond, can they, without damaging their own assets beyond repair?
Well, good morning. Yes, I mean, the whole issue of Karg Island could be central to sorting out this war. As you said, it's responsible for 90% of Iran's oil exports. And if the Americans were able, and it's a big if they were able to occupy it or reclaim it, don't forget Karg Island was run by the Americans until the 1979 Iranian Revolution. So the Trump administration thinks they have a claim on it, a historic claim. But it's a big ask. And the thing about Trump, the one thing we know about Trump and his military operations is he likes sort of clinical operations that achieve their objectives without the use of ground troops. And I can't see a way of taking Karg Island without the deployment of ground troops. And that makes them a target for the Iranians. And I think the Iranians would fight back if their sovereign territory is violated, or what they regard as their sovereign territory. So, you know, this is quite a big step if Trump decides to go for it.
I mean, Con, obviously we don't expect the president to come out overnight and tell us exactly what his plans are. But he does seem to, one minute we're sending, 10,000 Marines there to take Karg Island. The next, talks are progressing well and we're coming close to a ceasefire. Is it the fact that he is deliberately keeping things vague, or is it that he's not quite sure what the next step is himself?
Well, the charitable view of Donald Trump is that he's playing a blinder as commander-in-chief, and that he's keeping the enemy guessing, which is what commanders are supposed to do. But he's also keeping the rest of us guessing about what's going on, and that is having, as you said before, a very negative impact on the global economy, and particularly here in the UK. So, and a lot of people are getting very frustrated that, whatever the merits or otherwise of removing Iran's nuclear program, degrading its military capabilities, the impact it's having on the global economy and elsewhere, and the attacks on other Gulf states, is not something that people are very comfortable with. So, but I mean, Trump does say there are negotiations going on. It is also true that the Iranians have taken a terrible hammering from the Americans and the Israelis, who are also continuing to attack Iran. So at some point you feel that any sensible regime would say, well, we've had enough of this and let's do a deal and end the destruction. But, we've seen over the last 50 years that this is not a sensible regime. in Iran. It's a regime of fanatics.
Well, that's the concern. Even if they manage to force some sort of end to this by choking off Iran economically via Karg Island, if the regime is still left in place, it just pushes the problem 10, 15 years down the road, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if America doesn't finish the job, then countries like Russia and China will be encouraged that the Americans make a lot of noise but don't achieve very much. And I've got a piece in today's Daily Telegraph about how the Russians have been providing Iran with intelligence to attack American bases, which is quite a significant escalation. If the Americans are not just fighting Iran but Iran and Russia, and the Chinese are sort of waiting in the wings. China relies very heavily on the Gulf for its energy needs. So, there's a whole geopolitical dimension to this, which could get a lot worse before it gets better.
Indeed. Con, thank you so much. That's Con Copeland of the Daily Telegraph there. And, of course, the other situation going on is the ordinary people of Iran.
Yeah.
At the moment are suffering the bombs and also being killed by their own regime.
Yes.
I mean,
there is this desire to say, there's all the uprising a couple of months ago. That's what Trump wants to see another uprising at a time when the regime is weak, which sounds plausible in one sense, but it's an incredibly dangerous thing for them to do, incredibly dangerous.
Well, they're unarmed civilians up against a heavily armed militia.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's just too much to ask.
Well, indeed.
Right, shall we return back to our shores now at 7:16, because counter-terror police are now supporting officers in Derbyshire after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians.
Yeah, horrific scenes over the weekend. A 36-year-old man has been arrested and police say they are keeping an open mind on the motive.
Let's talk to our national reporter, Jack Carson. Morning, Jack. What's the latest we have on this?
Well, good morning. The latest that we have is that a man arrested, a 36-year-old man who has lived in Derby for some time, the police tell us, but originally from India, remains in police custody this morning. A reminder of what he is arrested on: attempted murder, causing serious injury through dangerous driving, inflicting grievous bodily harm with intent, and dangerous driving. It comes after pedestrians were hit by a car at 9:30 on Saturday evening. Officers say that they responded within seconds as eyewitnesses report people all over the floor. This city remains in a state of shock this morning, but the suspect, police say, was arrested just 7 minutes after that car first struck people. 7 people injured, police telling us that they have serious but not life-threatening injuries. Let's remind ourselves of that police press conference yesterday.
As is common practice for an incident of this nature, our officers are leading the investigation with the support of counter-terrorism policing colleagues. I would like to clarify that this does not mean the incident is currently being treated as terrorism.
Yeah, so interesting there that the police notifying us that the counter-terrorism police are assisting in the investigations. We saw a lot of forensic activity certainly yesterday, with a lot of debris being collected by police as they begin this investigation to work out exactly what happened last night, keeping an open mind but not at this time treating this as a terrorist incident. And overnight the police urging people with any information to get in touch with them. They say it's thought the suspect drove along Friargate, which is where we are now. It's one of the busiest spots in the evening for a night out here in Derby. And then they say that the car went onto Bridge Street, Lodge Lane, towards Five Lamps, Garden Street and Duffield Road before going on to St Alkmund's Way. They say the vehicle was visibly damaged before it was safely stopped by police, as we heard in that police press conference just 7 minutes after the car originally struck pedestrians on Saturday night.
OK. Jack, for now, thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Just horrible, isn't it? How many times do you hear this happening? Just people out having a nice night out on a Saturday night and then this horror show, 7 people seriously injured.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no one killed, but it could have been so much worse.
Well, it could have been, and we don't know just how bad their injuries are either. It could be life-changing.
Indeed,
our thoughts are with them, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Let's have a quick check on the weather with Honor, shall we?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, still to come if you're looking for love. Are you going to ask the computer to find it for you? Don't look at me. Anyway, because apparently a lot of these apps are now going to start using AI to help you find your partner.
You could match us up.
Can you
Possibly
imagine?
not, possibly
That'd be a
not. Anyway,
disaster.
this is GB News with Stephen and Dawn.
For now.
Every week there are stories that shape the national conversation.
We'll be discussing that.
And on Saturday Morning Live, we break them down.
Is that true? This is fascinating, isn't it?
The politics, the headlines, the debates everyone's talking about.
And the questions that you want answered.
Do you think that was a legitimate attack for him to make?
What led you to set up this fantastic movement?
You know what? It's a great question, Olivia.
So what are you waiting for?
Your weekend starts here. Saturdays at 10 a.m, only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The late edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, late edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
7:25. Now, if you are single, there is some potentially good news for you out there.
Yeah, I'm giving Stephen away. No, I'm not, no. Tinder is looking to move away from endless swiping, turning instead to artificial intelligence to help match Gen Z users and tackle app fatigue.
App fatigue. Doing too much swiping, but can AI really understand matters of the heart? And would you trust it with your love life?
Wow. What love life. Joining us now are relationship coaches Nadia Essex and Mila Smith. Ladies, I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be honest with you. I've been married since God was a boy, so I've never done any swiping in any way, shape or form. Nadia, but can we trust AI to choose our perfect partner for us?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, we're using AI more and more in CVs and job searches and helping with like everyday life. So why can't it help you find love? I think it's really a good tool if you were to like put your profile into the AI and then ask for feedback. I think people are really unaware of where they might be going wrong. And so it's a good way to kind of like bounce ideas off of. People are using, especially I'm a millennial, so we probably are using AI more like Google. And actually, it's not designed for that. It's actually designed to be as if it's like another person, whether it's, a dating coach or a work coach. Ask them the questions and then you get the feedback and then you can kind of do a bit of reflecting. So I think it's great.
Mila, what do you make of it all? Because I sort of think it's probably as unreliable for love as the apps themselves are, because either which way, where's the chemistry? Until you meet someone, where's the chemistry?
Yes, well, this is a really interesting point you're making. So I'm all for intelligent approach to love, and my whole coaching practice is based on science and intelligent approach to decision-making in terms of relationships. But then, on the other hand, the true intelligence in humans is our capacity to negotiate between emotional responses and knowledge and reason on the other hand. And this is something, the emotional side is something that AI does not have, at least the way it is at the moment. And the reason behind it is that evolutionary psychologists argue that our emotions are themselves deeply evolved systems. And the architecture of our mind is shaped by various evolutionary adaptations, which are there for a reason. They serve us well. So to rule out emotions entirely is not helpful.
Nadia, what about the quirkiness of relationships? I mean, I could put all my details in, sort of like, what I liked, did I go into football, etc. It could match me with someone who has all the same interests as me, But human beings aren't like that. I mean, people like and dislike one another because we're human. We have little quirks. AI will never understand that, surely.
No, but no one's suggesting that, like, AI is going on the date for you. I feel like you guys are talking as if AI is going to, like, take over. It's literally just a way to help filter through the rubbish that is on dating apps. Like Tinder have said, people get dating app fatigue because they're just constantly swiping. And so the AI should, in theory, filter through the people and just literally give you more, like, better matches, so that you are literally only looking at the people who AI think match your quirks and all of those.
But then I would say, I mean, to both of you, but Mila, first off, that completely rules out the opposites attract approach, doesn't it?
Actually, the opposites attract is...
Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Go on,
That
Mila.
happens on an app anyway.
Oh, does it? All right, Mila?
No, I'm with Nadia 100%. It's one of the myths that opposites attract. They may seem exciting and interesting at first, but in the long run, a relationship with someone like that becomes unsustainable. It's extremely difficult. But my concern, Nadia, would be about the sources of the information and the reliability of the tools, because AI tools, the way they are today, are far from perfect. And in fact, there is, I was made aware of something which is called AI hallucination, when the system glitches and starts fabricating information in the absence of knowledge and science to rely on. So that's my concern. So I understand that the algorithm is there, but the sources of information and the input, that would be my worry.
OK. All right, you two. Thank you very much indeed. It's good to get your perspectives on all of this. I'm just grateful at the end of that I'm married, frankly.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. I was just going to say that. And we met in that old school way of going to the pub.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was playing in a band, and that was it.
Oh,
it was a one-night stand that lasted 43 years.
You didn't need to give...
That's too much information. Well, it's 43 years. Come on.
Well, no, you've done well.
Yeah.
He's done especially
well.
Opposite. To be fair.
Patience of a saint.
God
absolutely.
Love him.
It's opposites
God
attract. Do you believe opposites attract?
I think there's got to be some differences.
Yeah.
I think some differences are healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I'm not a relationship expert. I've only ever had one relationship that's worked.
He's lovely.
Thank you very much.
You are so punching.
Yes, I am. Right, time for the Great British Giveaway now. How would you like a brand new camper van in time for summer and 25 grand in the bank? Here's how you take part.
A camper van and cash could be yours in our very latest Great British Giveaway. You could be driving away in this brand new Benavan 122. This 2026 model, worth over £67,000, comes with all of the mod cons you'd expect. Alloy wheels, solar panel, electric step and plenty of storage space. Plus, it comfortably sleeps 4 people. It's the ultimate home from home. And that's not all, as you'll also get an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash to boost your bank account this year. It's a prize package worth over £92,000 and it could be yours. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Just very quickly, Nigel says, I put my details and a photo in an AI partner search. It blocked my profile and called for an ambulance. Oh, Nigel.
Well done, Nigel. If you want to join in, gbnews.com/you'll say. Have you met your perfect partner online? Did AI help? But if AI gets all the information from the stuff that's online about you, God, we'd be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to delete that story for a start.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all reliant on what you put in, and I can't imagine most people are completely honest.
No. I just lied through my teeth.
Maybe that's just us, though.
Been completely honest, haven't you? No, that one's a bit too honest. I really would suggest deleting
Nigel,
that one.
no. Yeah, AI the picture first, Nigel. That's the way to do it. Right, we've got the sport with Paul Coyton. Has the sinner taken it all? Once again, we'll find out all the details in a moment.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 eastbound, expect slow-moving traffic between junction 28 at Tredegar Park and junction 24 at Coldra. In Wigan, the M6 southbound has a lane closed after a crash between junction 26 and junction 25, with delays likely into mid-morning. Also in the Midlands, the M42 southbound is suffering lane closures after an incident between junction 6 and junction 5, expected to ease after 8:15 this morning. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway and Elna are reporting disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello, welcome back. Should we talk about sport? Should we talk about Spurs in particular? Not that I've got.
I thought it was Jackanory for a second when we started there.
Not that I've got a dog in this particular game. Quitey, what's happening with Spurs?
Right.
Don't look smug. It's not. The poor boy's been in tears all
Yes,
morning.
I have. I've been really, really worried now. 44 days, Igor Tudor, the manager that came in from Croatia, that not many people had heard of and thought, is this going to be the answer? The answer was no, it wasn't the answer. 7 matches in charge, 5 defeats, and so he's gone. I mean, I have to mention the fact that, I mean, bless him, he lost his dad after the Spurs played Nottingham Forest. So then he wasn't there for the press conference, obviously, and then there's been that bit in between and thinking, well, what happens now? Because can you fire a man under a situation like that? Because football means nothing. But anyway, enough time's gone, and it's been like an agreement between the two of them, between the club and him anyway, I mean. And so now he's gone, and it's now a matter of who is going to come next. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are saying Roberto De Zerbi, who was at Brighton. But then again, we've got the other situation. A brand new manager comes in with 7 games left. You've got both sides of it. You think, well, on the Spurs side, does it work to then for him to say, right, this is the way we want to play? Because now it's just a matter of making players feel good about themselves and go out and just perform without confusing everybody. And also, as far as he's concerned, does he want to go into a club that could be relegated, and there's a very good chance the way things going of being relegated, and does he think he can turn it around? And also, are there going to be bonuses if they keep them up, and is he going to want a longer contract?
I'm really interested, Whitey, in what you said earlier on about Spurs legends wanting to come back and help the club out for no money. They're willing to do it for free.
I've spoken to great ex-players that have said, you know what, we will come back and we will try and take over. But then the club are thinking, well, is that the answer? You know, we've got like Harry Redknapp, and there's names like Glenn Hoddle, and there's Gary Mabbutt, who's a friend of ours, of course, and well, all of them are. But Do the club think, well, is this the answer? They need results, and they need to find the right person to come in and do that. And who it's going to be, well, I think everybody is just thinking, well, everybody's got their own name, but at the moment, we just don't know. But I think probably later on this week we will. But is it going to work? I hope so.
7 games.
You probably don't.
Right, can we talk about Arsenal? Because they're struggling with...
From the bottom to the top. How does this make me feel?
Yeah. But they are struggling with injury, aren't they? Or on the international duty front, anyway. Oh, you think it's a cynical ploy?
A cunning ploy.
10 players have now withdrawn from international duty. Interesting. After 5 more returned to the club over the weekend, Martin Zubimendi, Piero Hincapié joined Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke, who left the England squad on Saturday. They will all be assessed by Arsenal. 10 players that have left international duty. The severity of their injuries is not clear at this point. Do you think they might play in the next Premier League game? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they are, but it does make you raise an eyebrow.
It's not like Arsenal got much to play for in the Premier League,
Exactly,
is it?
exactly. So, you know, club over country, if I was a fan, I'd be thinking, well, we really want anybody to get injured. So let's hope for their sake they're not injured, but we'll see when they play next, and they're playing in the FA Cup. Quick word about Yannick Sinner, he won something called the Sunshine Double. Have you heard of the Sunshine Double?
I have now.
The Sunshine Double, which means Indian Wells, which is in California, and he won the Miami Open over the weekend. Let's see Yannick in action. You know, he's now, I mean, the amount of sets, he's won 34 sets on the bounce now. Here's Yannick Sinner playing there. Oh, no, that's me playing. There we are.
Look, it has to be the serve, I feel like, you know, especially this week. Serving very well, and also, you know, when you tend to go a little bit tired physically, when you have some free points, you know, on the serve helps you a lot. And that aspect for sure.
Thinking about playing, and there he is playing.
Oh, very good.
And when it's the Sunshine Double, ironically, it was pouring with rain in Miami for most of the game yesterday. Do you ever wonder why tennis, they don't play in the rain? Is it because the balls get, you know, is it...
I don't know.
A bit furry and stuff?
That's a very good point.
And cricket. There's 2 things I've often wondered. The truth. Are they the 2 only sports that actually come in when it's raining outside?
Well,
there's something to think
I don't
about.
understand it, but tennis, it's because the balls are all fluffy and they just get heavy, wouldn't they?
Well, I used to play in the rain. Didn't you used to play tennis in the rain?
No one needs to see me playing tennis in any weather, to be honest.
At my level as well, at Harold Court, Municipal, whatever it was. But, yeah, they never play in the rain, so I think it's 2 sports, cricket and probably tennis, are the only ones.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
It's just something to have a think about. There we go, until I'm next here.
All right, marvellous.
Thank you.
We'll see you in an hour.
Oh, yeah, so looking forward to it.
We will.
I think.
We'll ask Biggins and Scarlett Maguire what they think as they take us through the papers in just a moment.
Yes, but first, let's get the forecast for those top European destinations for you.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A very unsettled spell of weather expected across the Mediterranean. Heavy rain here, but elsewhere, particularly across Western Europe, largely fine. The Canary Islands, much of Spain and Portugal, lots of fine settled weather and some sunny spells. But as we drift our way further eastwards, we can see this area of low pressure bringing in some widespread heavy outbreaks of rain, particularly across parts of Italy and also moving into parts of Greece. The unsettled weather is here to stay for the coming days, but across much of Spain and Portugal, remaining fine, sunny with some warm temperatures.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Well, you talk about historical figures. There's a couple of historical figures sat right at the side of you. I think they should stick them a pair on a £5.
We're not on a banknote.
Yeah, on a £5 note, a couple of rainbows on, and Bob's your uncle. I mean, it's just ridiculous, mate. I mean, Winston Churchill, one of our greatest heroes of all time, he led us to victory. If it weren't for Sir Winston, we'd all be... Who
was that? You can't see that on your screen.
Is that you, Dobby?
That's me. Mine's got a £5 note.
You look like...
Hey, they call you 30p, you're £10.
£10, yeah, change my name now. Have we got Chopper and Nigel?
Hey, Nigel Nelson. How come Nigel Nelson got the £50
That's inflation.
note?
That's inflation.
Excellent. It should be a euro.
No, I'm not on it. No, it's just not. It's again. It's
£10 Chopper. There you go. Thank you very much, whoever did that mischief. And by the way, Nigel Nelson should be on a euro. People like Winston Churchill stopped real Nazis, and now they call people like you Nazis, because they've lost context.
What's his occupation? Birdwatcher.
Yeah.
Listen, mate, these people need to get a grip. You know, the people in my community are incredibly proud of our country. They're very patriotic. They signalise lamps on, they fly the flag, and when they see this nonsense and this bird twitcher, whoever he is, I don't know who he is, they get really, really angry. And I'll tell you what they do get angry with, when Nigel Nelson comes out with this nonsense about, you know, our stamps and our coinage changing every so many years.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
We're not wiping out Winston Churchill.
You are.
From
You are.
No,
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're changing a banknote. It's not a big deal.
Why aren't you on this show defending Winston Churchill, saying he should be on these banknotes?
I will defend Winston Churchill.
Defend him right now.
He doesn't have to be on every single banknote.
GB News, the People's Channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Using it.
Oh, that's
honestly, we come out of it every time we come out of a break. These two are just gabbing on.
Gabbing on. But we've moved on from six-packs.
Yeah, we have this time. It's Christopher Biggins and Scarlett Maguire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. In the house. And Scarlett's calmed down a bit after a six-pack. Six-packs at 6 o'clock this morning.
I was complaining about how awful men with six-packs often look. When it's over the top.
You should be so lucky. I mean, and I feel got at, frankly.
Well, I don't know about your six-packs.
I love my one-pack.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Look, can we kick off with the Times? Because the Pope, Scarlett, is targeting warmongers.
Well, yes, and guess who he's talking about? So he says that our God is Jesus, who's a king of peace. And he really was going for Pete Hegseth, who's the Minister of War, as he calls it, not defence, in the US, who said he prayed at a service at the Pentagon that for overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. And obviously the Pope, I mean, you know, there is no question that I mean, I think we're allowed to have just wars, but actually that you don't do violence. And it's just awful the way, I mean, I'm against this war anyway because I think it's completely unnecessary, but the way this war is being prosecuted so that you're killing as many people as possible.
Well, I mean, look, war is war, and sometimes it's necessary, but it is always horrific. And I'm not anti-war in that sense. I mean, as lovely as it would be to never have one. What I am anti is using Christianity, or any religion, actually, as a reason for prosecuting a war, and this, I think. I mean, I'm a Christian. I go to church every week. This matters to me. I find this a perversion of Christianity.
He is an American.
Well, and they do have a different view of things. They do, but you know.
But if you are a Christian, right, and if you are a Christian, you believe in Jesus. and Jesus believed in peace. I mean, and I'm not...
And he believed in mercy.
Well,
so to say those who deserve no mercy just is completely wrong.
And I think, I think for the Pope to come out on Palm Sunday yesterday, which he did, to say that he rejected the prayers of those who wage war and said there was blood on their hands, I mean, is incredibly important.
Well, I'm just going to move on, to be honest with you, and talk about mobility scooters in the Daily Mail. Biggins, this is your story.
Well, I know. I tell you why it's interesting for me, because if you remember about sometime last year, I applied for a new licence and I didn't get one because they now make you go and have an eye test. And I went for an eye test. And I have 20/20 vision, but when you go for this eye test, which the DVLA insists you do, you sit in front of a screen, and every time you see a light, you press a button. And I failed because I couldn't see peripherally this down here in this corner. Now, I thought that was for midgets or something, or small people.
Small people, yes.
I mean...
Small people.
I followed your lips then.
Yes.
But the thing is that, so because I can't see down here, which I don't understand why, and yet I've got 20/20 vision, I can read everything in this studio. It just annoys me, so I can't drive. So what I'm going to get is a little scooter to go for locally to shops and things. And I think it's a very good idea, this 20-mile limit. However, I was telling Scarlett that the other day we have a little garden in the front of our house, and I came to the gate and I stopped. Why, I don't know. And a man on a motorbike or a motorcycle came along, and if I hadn't stopped, he would have hit me. And of course, and then he went off, and it was which happens all the time.
I know, the electric bikes and even non-electric bikes on pavements are just dreadful. I mean, I always worry that they're gonna run me over. But the thought of mobility scooters in the cycle lanes rushing up and down. But it's right. If they can go at 20 miles an hour, that's the...
Well, I don't think we probably would go 20 miles, but I think the opportunity...
Christopher, I think you might be an old boy racer.
You'd be having it souped up, wouldn't you?
I think it's a very good idea.
Can we have a look at Keir Starmer wanting to stamp out addictive social media? This is in the Times. I don't understand this, Scarlett, because he's sort of saying, well, it's down to the technology companies to remove addictive things from them. Well, why don't we just ban it?
Well, actually, no, I think he is talking about banning. I mean, it's very difficult banning things from the technology company. I mean, a friend of mine who works for Meta says that, for instance, Australia is doing it the wrong way round. Instead of saying children can't watch it, what you should say to the tech companies is you shouldn't be doing it. And actually what Keir is...
But isn't social media by its very nature going to be a bit addictive?
Yes, but actually there's just been a court case in the States which has resulted in, as you know, millions going to this woman who said she was addicted, and they admitted that, I mean, of course they do algorithms to make you addicted, and actually the whole point is the tech companies have got to stop it. I mean, it's very difficult from our islands to say to the big American tech companies, but the court case shows that actually something, and they've got to take responsibility. I mean, we expect publishers to take responsibility for what they publish. The tech companies have got, and they only do it to make money.
Well, of course they do. They're a business. I just don't know why we don't just say, well, if you're under 16, you can't go on it.
That seems the obvious thing, doesn't it?
No, and so when you're 17, it's OK? I mean...
Well, yes, but your brain isn't developing in the same way then, is it? You're not at school, you're not doing your exams, you're not... Or if you're worried about A-levels, put it up to 18, put it up to 21, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, well, but then you get into the... I mean, the reason there's a consultation about it is what's WhatsApp? Is WhatsApp social media? Are we saying you can't go on it?
Well, it's not. It's a messaging app. There aren't any algorithms in WhatsApp.
But it's also social media. So
but it's not addictive.
But it's not just about the under-16s. I mean, what we should be saying to the tech companies is, of course, they should do age verification. The problem with the under-16s thing, they are bright kids. They're much brighter than the politicians.
Well, that's the problem.
And they'll get round it. And so that's why you have to say something to the tech companies.
And I think we have to take some parental responsibility as well. That person in that court case in America, they got addicted at 10. Where were the parents? Sorry?
Oh,
But
yeah.
also, in my day, 70 years ago, we didn't have it.
No, well, quite...
And it was brilliant.
I'm so glad we didn't, big into
Oh,
we were young.
I
had social
agree.
media.
I
Can you
agree.
imagine some of those pictures?
I know.
Oh, awful.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure I would have been completely addicted, but
Well, I
my
don't
parents
think
would
what
have
you would
banned
have
it.
All right, you two. Thank you very much
all those
indeed.
six-packs.
Here's the weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you to our global community for watching and listening to GB News. We're not only the #1 news channel in Britain, we're chosen by you around the world.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. In Edinburgh, the westbound off-slip on the A720 at Straighton Junction is restricted by a broken-down vehicle. On the M4 eastbound, expect congestion between junction 28 at Tredegar Park and junction 24 at Coldra. On the M6 southbound in Cheshire East, a broken-down vehicle is closing one of 4 lanes between junction 17 and junction 16. On the M4 westbound, 1 lane is blocked between junction 8 and junction 10. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway and Elna have disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate, including Newark Castle. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
A camper van and cash could be yours in our very latest Great British Giveaway. You could be driving away in this brand new Benavan 122. This 2026 model, worth over £67,000, comes with all of the mod cons you'd expect. And that's not all, as you'll also get an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash to boost your bank account this year. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50. plus 1 standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain,
with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Good morning. Can the government get a grip of Britain's energy crisis?
Yes, Sir Keir Starmer is holding urgent talks with business leaders today as fears grow over fuel shortages and rising prices.
With a key global oil route disrupted, as we know, and costs already climbing, which we've seen, how exposed is Britain to this deepening Middle East crisis?
Yes, meanwhile, President Trump says he could take the oil in Iran, even as he hints at a ceasefire.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good. Moving along very nicely.
Over half of us are now struggling to afford everyday essentials, many having to dip into savings just to get by.
Yeah, more cheer-up news. The NHS is set to ration hospital referrals, with GPs told to hold back 1 in 4 patients as ministers scramble to cut waiting lists.
Police say they're keeping an open mind on motive after 7 people were seriously hurt when a car hit pedestrians in Derby. Counter-terrorism officers are now assisting the investigation.
Disgraceful, but I think it's really hard to manage as well. Really hard to police and control.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what else I could do about it, but I know it is rife and that we're being overly cautious with our phones while we're here, yeah.
Meanwhile, the Lib Dems say that phone theft has effectively been decriminalised, with new figures showing over 99% of cases never result in a charge.
And the push for electric vehicles has been branded a joke by some car dealers, as they warn demand isn't there yet as that 2030 petrol and diesel ban looms.
And sport this morning, Spurs sack Igor Tudor, now looking for another new manager, but someone who can keep them in the Premier League, which is quite important. In a new Premier League survey, 75% of fans want VAR scrapped. And after a young winner and a bad crash at the Japanese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen says he wants out.
Hello there, good morning. A chilly day ahead with sunshine and showers, but something a little warmer on its way this week. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
And I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
All right, there's lots to talk about this morning on the political front, because we are hurtling towards another sort of economic crash is overdoing it, but in terms of a crisis for a lot of people in this country who are simply running out of money, fuel costs going up, petrol costs going up, that affects prices in supermarkets, it affects things for farmers. I mean, it's a very difficult situation, which is showing no sign of getting any better at the moment. Let's talk to the Shadow Energy Secretary, Claire Coutinho, who joins us now. Good morning to you. The Prime Minister's meeting fuel bosses, isn't he, today at Downing Street? I mean, what do you think we'll get out of that, and what do you think the Prime Minister is hoping to get out of that?
Well, when I was in government, I would have got very detailed information about fuel supplies across the country. As the opposition, we don't get that now, but I imagine they will be looking at contingency plans and things like that. But I think the most important thing that people are worrying about when it comes to petrol prices is why on earth Rachel Reeves will be planning to increase fuel duty for the first time in 15 years in the autumn. So that's what we would like to see stopped. We kept fuel duty frozen for 15 years, and this is the exact wrong time to start increasing it, because you're just making life worse for people who are already struggling.
Claire, what I'm struggling to understand myself with this is, you know, summoning the energy bosses around the table to talk about what they can do. The bottom line here, though, surely, is the only person that can do anything about it, really, is Keir Starmer or Ed Miliband. I mean, what about drilling in the North Sea? I mean, we've discussed this on this show several times. We keep coming back to that. That's the only thing that's going to solve this crisis, isn't it?
Well, we need to have energy security. So these are the policies that we've set out today. We should be drilling more in the North Sea. There's absolutely no excuse to be sending billions of pounds of British money to Norway, to the same basin, for the same oil and gas that we could be drilling ourselves. And the only reason that Ed Miliband is shutting down the North Sea, we know thousands of jobs are going every month, is because of his ideology. He calls it climate vandalism to drill in the North Sea, but somehow it's fine to import more gas from abroad with higher emissions. It just doesn't make sense. So we should absolutely be making the most of our own resources, and that would help us, by the way, because we know people are struggling, we know people are suffering from higher costs, and what you can do with that extra money that you get from thriving industry is to cut bills. So the other part of our plan that we've set out is our cheap power plan, which would cut energy bills for your average household by £200 for the next 3 years by taking off these extra taxes and levies that the government is choosing to impose on people who are already struggling with high costs.
All right, there's some issues with that, though, aren't there? I mean, in terms of the North Sea, and a lot of people say, well, it seems to make a lot of sense, and the billions in tax revenue and extra employment and all the rest of it would be a big boost for the economy. But that's not going to alter things in the immediate term. That's going to take some time to ramp up. But in the meantime, if you're going to start taking VAT off the bills, if you're going to get rid of the green levies and all the rest of it, it's good for us, the consumer. It's bad for the coffers at the Treasury. So how do we balance that out?
So you can take out wasteful spending. So we've set out a plan, which I said is £200 for your average household. Also cuts electricity costs for business by 20%. We're the only party who's got a plan for businesses as well. And we would fund it by doing things like cutting wasteful spending on heat pump subsidies, for example, and GB Energy, which Ed Miliband said was going to have a mind-blowing reduction on bills, hasn't done a thing for households. So we need to make sure, before we go back to the taxpayer who's already hard-pressed at the moment, that we are taking out costs in the system where we can, before we come back to them for another bailout for people on welfare, which is what the Labour Party are planning to do, because what you get from their plan is more taxes for people who are struggling themselves on, you know, salaries of £30,000, £40,000. These are not people who are well off, and actually their energy plan is not going to help them at all. Ours will, and it won't cost taxpayers a penny.
Yeah, but are you saying then that you can remove all these levies and still balance the budget? I mean, is it costed to that extent?
Yes. So ours is fully costed. It's fully costed. We've taken out, as I said, things like heat pump subsidies. At the moment, we're paying a tiny amount of people enormous subsidies to get a heat pump, when actually the biggest barrier is that our electricity is too expensive. So we would rather take out those subsidies and make electricity much cheaper in this country. And we think that's better for living standards, better for the economy, and better for people who want to use electricity, which is essentially what the government's trying to do with those subsidies. So we take out wasteful spending. We wouldn't cost the taxpayer a penny, and we would cut household bills by £200 for the next 3 years.
Claire, it sounds brilliant, and we are all feeling the pinch. So the front page of the Daily Mail today, with MPs receiving £3,300 cost of living handout, and at the weekend we also learned that ministers are claiming our expenses towards their petrol bills paid for by the taxpayers. It seems the one group of people that aren't really suffering are our ministers.
Well, I think the worry that I've got with their plans is that they're coming back to taxpayers again when taxpayers have already been hit incredibly hard by this Labour government. And actually they're saying that those people on middle incomes, your £30,000, your £40,000 a year, are not going to get any help. And I think that's wrong. I think before you do that, before you go back to tax those people more, to spend more money on people on welfare who are already getting much higher rates thanks to this Labour government, what you should do is be taking costs out of the energy system. Take out those taxes, take out those levies, cut the cost of energy for everyone, give people who are struggling themselves some relief as well. And that's what our cheap power plan would do for households and businesses.
I hate to sound like the Labour Party, because it does get... I know people get annoyed when they blame everything on 14 years of Tory rule, and it's not always a fair thing to say. But there are some elements which are realistic in that. I mean, when you were in the coalition with the Lib Dems, you didn't go ahead... I know you blame the Lib Dems for it, but you didn't go ahead with building a new nuclear power plant, which would have been up and running by now and improve our energy security and the cost to us all. It is the Conservative government that stopped the new licences for North Sea drilling. So you do hold some responsibility for this position we're in now.
So we didn't stop new licences. Actually, I was legislating to protect new licences. I signed off Rosebank, a controversial decision that's now stalled. It's sat on Ed Miliband's desk. And we've always been very clear we should maximise the North Sea. In terms of nuclear, when we started building nuclear, and no nuclear had been started for about 30 years, there was one nuclear welder in this country. We have turned that around. There's now skills, expertise, the supply chain. I signed off a third large power plant in my time in office, and Ed Miliband has cancelled that. So we have no pipeline for large-scale nuclear in this country outside of the ones that we started. So yes, I think there are challenges. I definitely don't think we got everything right in office. I've been very candid about that. I've changed our net zero position, as has Kemi Badenoch, our leader, and I think we need to be much more realistic about the energy system. But we did a lot of things which the Labour Party are now getting wrong. So we did say we should maximise the resources from the North Sea, and Labour are now banning new licences, and they are putting so many taxes on the North Sea that we're losing thousands of jobs a month. That has to be reversed. We're talking about our energy security. We need to be realistic in this country, and that's why we've been very clear. We should drill in the North Sea. We should make the most of those jobs, make the most of those tax revenues. This is a blessing that we have in this country. Lots of other countries would love to have the North Sea, and we are the only country in the world that is being mad enough to shut down our own resources in a time of an energy crisis. It's complete madness. So we have to use the North Sea, and we have to start looking at ways to cut bills that isn't a bailout coming from taxpayers.
Claire, just very quickly and finally, Keir Starmer has said that the buck stops on this one with Ed Miliband. Do you think he's fit for purpose? Do you think he should go?
I do not think Ed Miliband is a fit energy secretary, because he's run by ideology. And the North Sea should be a litmus test of whether we can have common sense and practicality when it comes to energy policy. It makes absolutely no sense to shut down our own resources in the North Sea and increase our imports of gas from abroad, which has higher emissions, in the name of climate change. That is clearly a completely absurd position, which is why you've seen, by the way, some of the biggest advocates for climate policy, Renewable UK, Greg Jackson from Octopus. These people are massive advocates for climate policy, and they agree with the Conservatives on this one, that we should keep drilling in the North Sea. There is absolutely no argument for not using our own resources.
OK, Claire Coutinho, really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Shall we see what political commentator Andy Williams makes of all that? What did you think, Andy?
Well, it's a very different Claire Coutinho to the one who was Energy Secretary 18 months ago. I mean, she was the biggest advocate of net zero. She literally was the minister responsible in a government that had a majority for this policy, for this entire policy area. And she did none of the things that she said just there that she wants to see. And the reason for that is that Kemi Badenoch has dramatically changed the Conservative position.
Well, maybe she would say, she denied all the licensing business, but perhaps, she would say, well, I've admitted candidly that we made mistakes.
Yeah, but the problem is every time you see Conservative shadow ministers on television, they say that, and it's as though they made mistakes in every single area, which I think they did. I think the Conservative position on this is simplistic, I think it's reactive, and I think it's opportunistic, and I'll explain why. You need to have a long-term strategy on energy policy as a country. Now, I don't think the strategy that Ed Miliband's pursuing is 100% right. I think it's imbalanced. I think that drilling for North Sea oil is a good thing. as balanced with renewables. You also need a long-term strategy for how you're going to develop a tax base. And I think this is the big missing piece here. The Conservatives set out £47 billion of welfare cuts last year, and I think many of those are welcome. Again, I don't agree with the balance that Labour have put forward on that. But they seem to be spending this money over and over and over again. You know, we've got this pot, and we're going to cut this, we're going to cut that, we're going to cut your energy bills. I mean, I don't know whether they've truly fully costed this. So I'd say I'm very sceptical. The final thing I'd say is I do accept that while everybody in the world, while all countries are exposed to this forthcoming energy shock, and by the way, I think the government's going to seriously regret making a big play of the fact that the energy price cap is coming into force in the coming days, because it's only going to go through the roof again
in a couple of months.
Yeah. And likewise, by the way, on interest rates, they took credit for all these interest rate cuts, and now they're going to go back up. But while everyone is exposed, we are clearly more exposed than other countries. So when I'm talking about strategy, what I mean is we need a much clearer long-term strategy for our energy policy and for how we're going to develop a robust tax base.
Indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Andy, there with the... let us know what you think about that one at gbnews.com/your say. Do you have any faith that the meeting today between the Prime Minister and the fuel bosses will help any of us?
Seems unlikely. Well, we'll wait and see by the end of the day, I think, and if there isn't a solid line out of that, well, then we know it's just been a talking shop, really.
Is Ed Miliband there is the question? He's the one in charge.
He's got to be. I mean, he will be there, won't he?
You would hope so, but who knows?
I mean, so why is the Prime Minister there? Really? He's already conceded all power on that one.
Right.
Anyway, look, in the Middle East, which, of course, is fuelling all this problem, Israel says it's expanding its operation in southern Lebanon.
Yeah, US officials are also preparing options for possible ground raids in Iran.
Well, should that happen, Tehran has warned it will retaliate.
Yeah, and breaking overnight, US President Donald Trump has hinted at a potential ceasefire.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely. And they've destroyed a lot of additional targets today. The Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone, we know that. But we destroyed many, many targets today. It was a big day. And we are negotiating with them directly and indirectly.
Let's talk to former MP and military expert Bob Seeley. Bob, morning to you. I mean, what do you make of what President Trump is saying there? I mean, these negotiations, he's you know, talks in this very confident way that it's all heading in the right direction. Are we seeing a carrot and stick approach from the president?
That's probably a pretty good way of summing it up. Good morning. I think with Trump, I think you'll see what you'll see, whether he continues bombing and increases that bombing campaign, or whether there is a ceasefire. We know that in Iran, the Iranians are under a lot of pressure. They're worried about their economic collapse because the Gulf is going to be increasingly unwilling to trade with them because they've been lobbing missiles into, you know, UAE, into Saudi, etc. So there's a lot of ill will between Shia Iran and the rest of the Sunni Arab world around and neighboring it. So let's see what happens. I hope there's going to be a ceasefire because we need the Straits of Hormuz to be open. It might be that actually this continues and indeed the tempo increases.
Bob, we hear constantly of the number of Marines being sent to the area, but, you know, estimates put it at around 10,000 at the moment. Is that really enough to make much of a difference?
It depends what your objectives are, and it depends what your military targets are. If you're trying to invade Iran with 10,000 men and women, good luck to you, because you're going to need it. If your targets are much more limited to defending US bases, to seizing one or two sites on the Persian Gulf coast, very specific targets in Iran, then actually that may be enough to do the job once you've got complete air power dominance, once you've got dominance of the sea, and if you're serious about preventing the Iranians from laying mines or from trying to mount missile attacks from locations on the coast, or you want to seize Karg Island in order to control Iranian oil exports, or certainly to have very significant influence over them.
Look, in terms of a lot of this has got to depend on what the objective is, surely, Bob. I mean, we heard from the outset that they wanted regime change in all of this. I mean, you say you hope there's a ceasefire, we can get the Straits of Hormuz open. Is that like saying you stop taking the antibiotics just because you feel a bit better, even though the illness itself hasn't gone, if you leave any of the regime in place?
You make a very good point. At the beginning of this, the Israelis and the Americans had slightly different objectives, as you're alluding to. The key objectives for the United States was no nukes, and also, a destruction of the Iranian missile program. That is somewhat linked to China, because if anything happens around Taiwan, the Chinese have signed a very recent missile deal with Iran. And so this was partly looking at Iran's missile program, but also trying to prevent the Iranians getting hold of Chinese missiles, which in reality the Chinese would control. They'd control the use of them. So it would be a way of shutting down the Straits of Hormuz if there was a Taiwan crisis. So there's a much bigger geopolitical game going on here between the Chinese and the Americans there. If you look specifically at the Israeli war aims, they were the ones talking about regime change in a way that the Americans weren't. So Trump has talked a little bit about regime change, but actually their program, their agenda here has been about nukes and about missiles. With the Israelis, it's been about trying to destroy and overthrow the regime by degrading it to such an extent and using the US air power and sea power as well as part of that you collapse the regime.
OK. Bob, it's really good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. OK, let's have a look at the other news stories coming in. Counter-terror police are supporting officers in Derbyshire after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians. A 36-year-old man has been arrested, and police say they are keeping an open mind on the motive.
Campaigners and MPs are urging councils to improve paternity leave for thousands of dads. They're pushing for up to 6 weeks' leave at 90% pay. Most still only offer the statutory minimum of 2 weeks.
And drivers are being warned to expect the busiest Easter roads in 4 years, with nearly 21 million journeys planned. Thousands of train journeys are also set to be disrupted by, yep, you know, major engineering works.
For once, I just wish everyone stayed at home at Easter.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people might.
I hope so.
Purely because people are worried about the costs of driving, the cost of filling their car up. So I think it might be quieter on the roads.
And just,
thinking.
I mean, honestly, and the idea of setting out for an Easter weekend and just getting stuck in all that traffic, it's got to be horrific.
Yes,
I dread it because I've got to go up and down the M1. In all of that, I hate it.
You're going to go for work, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the thing. But I mean, it's like people want to go and see their families. I mean, lots of people are working very hard at the moment. It's the only time they get off. But I mean, I think it's the cost that's going to put a lot of people off this time round. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, eggs are more expensive as well.
Oh, the Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're more expensive and smaller.
And smaller.
No, you can't win. You can't win. I don't know what the weather's going to do. Let's find out.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Oh, no, some good ones.
Coming up for you, we're talking electric vehicles. There's that deadline, 2030. That's when you're going to stop selling brand new petrol and diesel cars. So what do the retailers make of all of this? We're going to be talking to one in a moment.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
Welcome back to Sunday with Michael Portillo. Godot Castle in North Wales was once envisaged as a royal palace for Wales, but after years of neglect became a ruin. A fresh programme of conservation work, supported by the National Lottery, aims to restore it. Lady Marina Cochrane, whose family last lived in the castle in 1924, joins me now. It's so lovely to see you. Tell me about your family's connection to the castle.
Of course, thanks for having me, Michael. So my great-great-grandmother, Winifred Cochrane, used to live in the house up until 1924, and she didn't pass it on to my family, actually. She passed it on to the royal family and, alternatively, the Church of Wales. So as a family now, it's been quite interesting coming onto the project. So I'm helping Mark Baker, the historian and custodian of Greek Castle, who I believe you've met, restore it now into sort of its rightful space and hopefully into a museum. So we're going to relocate some of the art collection that was once there.
You talked about the staircase, for example.
Yes.
Can that, I mean, that must have been a glorious piece, must be hideously expensive.
Yeah.
Can we expect that to be restored in due course?
I hope so, to some extent. Right now, if we can't find stuff at auction, we'll be able to replicate it somehow with copies and other materials. That will be hopefully part of my job as well, to sort of really find other ways that we can replicate what the house really was before.
You talked about a collection in the context of Mark Baker. What is the collection and where is the collection? So,
my great-great-grandmother was an amazing Victorian lady for her era. She collected a lot of female artists.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Every week there are stories that shape the national conversation.
We'll be discussing that.
And on Saturday Morning Live, we break them down.
Is that true? This is fascinating, isn't it? The politics, the headlines, the debates everyone's talking about.
And the questions that you want answered. Do you think that was a legitimate attack for him to make?
What led you to set up this fantastic movement?
You know what? It's a great question, Olivia.
So what are you waiting for?
Your weekend starts here. Saturdays at 10 a.m, only on GB News.
Hi.
8:27. Now, the car industry says the government's 2030 ban on new petrol and diesel cars could be unachievable.
Who'd have thought? Manufacturers are calling for an urgent rethink of the electric vehicle mandate as public scepticism remains high.
Let's talk to Director for Swansway Motor Group, Peter Smythe. Morning, Peter. What's the problem?
Good morning. Well, the problem is that the mandate is just quite simply too tough. 33% of all vehicles registered this year have to have a zero tailpipe emission, and the manufacturers, the OEMs, are struggling to hit those numbers naturally through retail demand, because there are still reservations about driving electric vehicles. I've got to say, though, and I need to state this, I am very much pro the EVs. They are superb cars, and you find that once somebody actually drives an EV and uses it on a day-to-day basis, very, very rarely do they go back to an internal combustion engine.
So, Peter, what is putting people off? Why are we so sceptical about getting a fully electric car?
Well, first of all, there's a significant price difference between an electric vehicle and an internal combustion engine, because the manufacturers have had to spend billions, and I mean billions of euros, dollars, pounds, in doing the research and development in bringing these vehicles to market very, very quickly. And they're also finding, because they are putting, the OEMs are putting very, very heavy discounts on them in order to entice the retail consumer to buy the vehicle, there's a knock-on effect with what the vehicle is then worth second-hand. And the buying public aren't silly. They see this and they're a little bit sceptical at this moment in time. I've got to say, though, the offers that most of the OEMs put on the vehicles are really quite staggering at this moment in time. But it is worth looking at driving an EV, particularly in light of what is happening in the Middle East.
Well, I mean, considering what we're going to have to do in a few years when you're not going to be able to buy a new petrol or diesel car, I mean, presumably then people will just have to buy them. Is the problem now then these targets that they're running at the moment, which are unachievable? So the targets now might be unachievable. It doesn't mean things are going to necessarily change by 2030 or 2035.
Well, the trajectory is that more people are turning to electric vehicles. Of that, there's absolutely no doubt. It's just that the pace at which governments are forcing both the public and the manufacturers to get there. Just to clear things up, in 2030, if the ban does come into place, doesn't mean to say that you can't drive a petrol or diesel car on the road. It's just that every car that will be produced will have to have, well, will either be at this moment in time a complete electric vehicle or a hybrid version.
I must admit, we're just having that. I'm still very nervous about the whole thing. I'm nervous about running out of charge and all the cliches you hear about these cars. I mean,
but this is the thing, Peter. I mean, we are out of time, but I mean, the battery capacity and all the rest of it. I mean, it is dramatically improving, isn't it?
Massively. It's dramatically improving. And if you can charge at home, it is definitely the way forward, because it definitely saves you money, because you'll be able to run the vehicle a lot cheaper than you would do. So if you can charge at home, you need to consider an EV.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Peter. It's really good to talk to you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
I'd do a deal with him for a car. I bet you could have a good barter with Peter to get the price down.
He's a good lad, isn't he? He, before we came on air, was comparing this change to electric vehicles to similar to actually moving from horse and cart to actual cars.
Yeah.
And it's that seismic, the change, yeah.
There we go. We're all just going to have to get used to it one way or another. Tell you what, though, how about... Actually, this isn't electric, but we'll give you money for petrol. It's a brand-new camper van that you could have in time for summer with 25 grand in tax-free cash. We should buy a tank or two. Here's how you can take part.
We want you to enjoy unlimited Great British getaways this year in your very own camper van. That's right, you could be the proud owner of a brand new Benivan 122. This very latest 2026 model comfortably sleeps 4, comes complete with built-in kitchen, compact washroom, front dinette, and is worth over £67,000. So if you're travelling with family or holidaying with friends, you know you'll be staying in comfort. But that's not all, as we'll also give you a further £25,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like in the coming year. Make sure you don't miss out on a prize package worth over £92,000. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Terribly rude. Good luck with that one. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
It'd be very nice indeed. But if you are heading out on the roads this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. In Edinburgh, the westbound off-slip for the A720 at Straighton Junction is restricted after a broken-down vehicle. On the M4 eastbound, expect slow traffic between junction 28 at Tredegar Park and junction 24 at Coldra due to congestion. In Cheshire, the M6 southbound between junction 17 and junction 16 has a lane closed after a breakdown. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway and Eleanor both report disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate, also affecting Newark Castle. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
OK, still to come. Name a better combination than Spurs and rotating managers. Well, what about us? That's quite a good combination.
Don't think so. No, never again. Here's Paul Coyte's going to have all the sport in just a moment.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
So we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
the Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
Because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
It is 8:38 and it's time for the very latest sport now. Paul Coit.
Yes, sir.
Should we talk about Igor Tudor?
Igor Tudor, 44 days in charge of Tottenham Hotspur. It is now over. 7 matches, 5 defeats. They need a new manager. Who it's going to be, every name has been thrown into the ring who's had anything to do with Tottenham Hotspur. And it's not going to be, by the sound of it, Harry Redknapp. It probably won't be Glenn Hoddle. There's so many people it's not going to be. Roberto De Zerbi is probably where the smart money's going to be. But he's going to want the job permanently.
Yeah.
So we've got 7 games.
Willie, because if they go down...
Who's that, Willie De Zerbi?
No.
Is that his brother? I don't know him.
No, if Willie want the job permanently, if they go down...
I don't know. It's all up in the air. I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen.
No one knows.
It will probably be this week. I've spoken to so many great players and names within the club who have said, we're happy to help out, be happy to do it, but it doesn't seem like that's the way they're going to go, so we'll see.
No, what about some VAR? We all like a bit of VAR, too.
It's not...
Help, why?
I think...
It's who I'm working with, Paul.
Is that what it is?
It's me. Oh, sorry. In any case, we're taking this territory serious. Spurs could get rid of it.
This is the sport. I bet you don't do this with Biggins, do you? I bet you don't put help up then.
I would do.
Okay, fine. All right. Let me talk to you about VAR.
Yes,
now,
please.
there's been a survey, 8,000 Premier League clubs. Now, stop that, both of you. Enough, put it down and listen.
Sorry.
8,000 Premier League club fans have been surveyed. 75% want VAR scrapped. Surprise? Probably the only surprise is that it's so low.
What exactly? What are the other 25% doing? Obviously not watching football.
They actually want it there. They're probably all referees. 90% say the matchday experience is damaged. 95% say VAR goes on too long, keeps everybody waiting. The 5% there, surely. I mean, you would just... What are they thinking? It could be longer?
Well, Katie, when was the last time you celebrated a goal? I mean, I know you're Spurs, so that's a bit of a new question. But...
I'll give you that one.
But, I mean, you just
last time you saw a goal?
VAR.
It's the loss of spontaneity when celebrating goals. That's the problem. You can get up, you can cheer, but then you have to wait.
Yeah.
But then again, the argument would be then the other side that can cheer and get excited when it's been disallowed. But there are a few people that have said there are some good things. 71% of fans say VAR has improved the overall accuracy of refereeing decisions. And 95% support for goal line technology, which is OK. And you know why? Because it's quick. Because it's instantaneous.
Yeah.
If it crosses the line or doesn't, the referee will know straight away and the decision's made and then they can move on.
Talk about being quick.
Speed. Yes.
Can we talk about Mr. Josh Kerr, who may be a name that goes down in history?
Josh Kerr, 18th of July at the London Stadium. And this is not a thing where West Ham have decided they don't want athletics because it's in the off-season. He is going to attempt he's going to try and break the world mile record. It's the old Emsley Car Mile. 3 minutes 43:13 is the current world record.
Ouch.
Which was held... Well, it was set by Hicham El Garouj back in 1999. So 27 years this has stood. And now Josh is going to go for it. I was looking at different times. 1985, Steve Cram had the record, which was 3:46, so 3 seconds slower. Seb Coe had it in 81, 3:47. He broke it just 2 weeks after Steve Ovett had it at 3:48. Roger Bannister in 1954 with 3:59, but Josh Kerr is going to attempt it in July, and the other news is that Josh Kerr will join us on the show tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Which I'm
Excellent.
very excited
I'm
about.
really looking forward to
Love
that.
athletics and love middle distance, so bring back those magic moments of the magic days of middle distance running in this country.
Indeed.
It terrifies me to try to run a mile that quickly.
Yeah.
God, they must be good.
They are quite good, you know.
They are.
They have a future in this business, I'll tell you. They do in this business. Yeah.
Whitey, thank you so much.
All right, we've got the papers next with Biggins and Scarlett Maguire, but first, here's the European forecast.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
A very unsettled spell of weather expected across the Mediterranean. Heavy rain here, but elsewhere, particularly across Western Europe, largely fine. The Canary Islands, much of Spain and Portugal, lots of fine settled weather and some sunny spells. But as we drift our way further eastwards, we can see this area of low pressure bringing in some widespread heavy outbreaks of rain, particularly across parts of Italy and also moving into parts of Greece. The unsettled weather is here to stay for the coming days, but across much of Spain and Portugal, remaining fine, sunny with some warm temperatures.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
The Commons in Tunbridge Wells, a space at the heart of the community, cherished for generations, but now its future is uncertain. Locals assumed the Tunbridge Wells and Rusthall Commons were common land, but for the last 18 years they've belonged to a property company, Target Follow, and now they've put the land up for sale. A proposal linked to part of the site has sparked fierce opposition. Campaigners fear plans for 104 luxury apartments and 285 parking spaces.
This land, which is village green, subject to many protections. What they want to do is deregister it by swapping it with a piece of land over at the end of Rusthall, which to us seems of questionable value and utility. We've already got a lot of these types of blocks. My understanding is they're not all fully occupied. We don't need any more, and we certainly don't need it on a precious resource like the Commons.
The campaign groups say they want to bring the land into public ownership. So far they've gathered over 1,650 pledges, more than £500,000, but they need more by the end of this month.
The support from the people of Tunbridge Wells and Rusthall has been phenomenal. Everybody agrees with what we're doing. They all want us to bring the Commons into public ownership. That if we don't do it now, we'll probably never be able to do it. If this area is developed, then bit by bit there'll be more and more. The 900 or so residences around the Commons could be charged more for access to the Commons.
In a statement, owner Target Follow says the Commons have always been privately owned and have flourished during its ownership. They say there's been lots of interest from potential buyers and bids will be considered this month.
GB News, the People's Channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Right, we're going through the papers at 8:46 with Christopher Biggins and Scarlett Maguire. Where's my list? Scarlett, let's start with you, should we? In The Guardian, looking at the RNLI, which, I mean, they're an incredible organisation, full of... I'm from a coastal town, so, I mean, they're so important, and they're all volunteers.
Oh, they're brilliant. I mean, they're absolutely brilliant.
And they're
brave.
a charity that gets no government funding, and what they're saying is that because more and more people, it's the beaches, and they have to save lives, and this is their 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Of doing the beaches, and they're just terribly worried that of how stretched they are. But I mean, the number of lives they save, and particularly people doing really stupid things.
Yeah.
Going out when they shouldn't, going out in on surfboards, going out on windsurfers, and then getting stuck. I just think they're absolutely fantastic.
Biggins, isn't it amazing? Every story we cover at the moment, every area of our lives comes back to what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Iran. They're thinking they're going to have a very busy summer. That's why they can't cope.
Well,
because more people staying at home rather than travelling.
Well, of course, I mean, the travelling at the moment is a nightmare. You can't go anywhere. You have to, if you want to go, to the Maldives, you have to go through that area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, we're going to Cornwall for Easter, and and we're looking forward to it because we do have the most wonderful places.
We do
in this country.
But then they're looking at the busiest roads this Easter weekend that we've seen in 4 years. Well,
train.
Engineering works.
But actually, the train to Cornwall is so wonderful because you go along Woolwich and you can see the sea.
And Scotland, if you go to Edinburgh, you go along that coast road. I mean, some of the I think travelling on trains is wonderful. I'd like to do trains all over the world. I mean, I'd like to do Canada and go on those trains. They're fantastic.
Well, days. I mean, to cross Canada, you are on a train for days.
Yeah, wonderful.
And it's completely wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think...
You've done it, have you?
No, I think... No, when I was a child, my father did... We did 2 trips, but the second with young children, right, was from... we drove up from the east coast of America to Vancouver and then crossed to Halifax.
All right.
Which took days, and I have to say, sitting in the back of a car, it's really boring.
You were great.
Can I change the pace of things
here?
Yes,
go on,
we've had really, really serious subjects all morning, so I want to talk, Biggins, about Kinky Boots.
Yes, well, yesterday was the premiere, the big opening of this new production at the Coliseum Theatre, and they closed the street outside and had a red carpet going along. It was so exciting. And there's the programme. Can you...
They'll pick it up eventually.
Will you?
There you go.
There we are, look.
Kinky
and
Boots.
It's got Johanna from Strictly Come Dancing, who is sensational. And Matt Cardle, who was in pantomime with me, is playing the villain, and he played the villain in pantomime, and he's wonderful in this. It's such an exciting production. Really, really, really good. And, hang on, where are we? No, that's it. Marvellous. And it's great, and it's there for a season, for the summer, because the Coliseum, apart from doing opera and ballet all year, they do a summer season, and this is their version of it. So, and it is truly wonderful. Interestingly enough, Harvey Fierson did the book. An American performer and writer, and Cyndi Lauper did the music. So it's got good credentials.
Has it got anything to do with it? The only thing I know about Kinky Boots is the song from who was it? It was the cast of Thingies back in the day, wasn't it? In with a bowler hat and. Everybody's talking about Kinky Boots, Kinky Boots.
No, it doesn't ring a bell at all.
Doesn't it come from a true story?
It does a true story.
About a failing shoe wear.
That's
they decided to make Kinky Boots, and all of a sudden they made money.
And they made it for drag queens. And, of course, yesterday it was heavily sponsored by drag queens who were everywhere. It was wonderful.
Honor Blackman and Patrick McNee.
What?
Remember they did Kinky Boots, the song? It was
why
a huge
hit. Why you got money in this?
You're not going to sing again, are you?
No, it was the only Kinky Boots I ever know. I thought it was something to do with that song.
No, what a shame.
No.
In so many areas. I think
Honestly.
Christopher, all these wonderful drag queens.
I love the boots, though. I do like the boots.
The boots were wonderful, I must say.
Actually, Dawn, you do have to come in wearing a pair and then show everybody. You've got to have your feet up on the desk.
Got some black ones, yeah. I've got some black ones already.
But I think you need to buy a pair of red ones.
Yeah.
I think you need to look really, really ridiculous.
Can we talk about HP sauce?
Oh,
I've always been a fan of HP sauce.
Well, this is hysterical. This was a burglar who went into jailed because he went into a flat, or a house rather, and stole £1,500 worth of gold in the form of a necklace and bank cards, and then went to a shop and bought some various things, including HP sauce.
Right.
And he was caught on camera and arrested. His love of HP sauce has sent him to prison.
Because he did it with the stolen bank card.
He did it with the stolen bank card.
He's quite a stupid burglar.
Yeah, he really is.
Well, he'll be all right, though. I mean, you were in prison for a long time, weren't you?
Porridge, absolutely.
Porridge.
Yes. Lukewarm. And I was the chef, too. That's why I was called lukewarm.
Yeah.
Because all my food was lukewarm. But, I mean, I must say, I do like HP. So HP and tomato sauce are my favourite.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
ketchup.
you can't beat it.
Ketchup, you can't beat it.
I love ketchup.
And it's so useful for doing all sorts of things, making, you know, a sauce for prawns and things like that with a bit of mayonnaise.
Yes, but it also if you've got sort of slightly bland food or whatever left over.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Or on the ketchup.
Absolutely.
It's
Wonderful.
Don't chefs get offended, though? Because whenever we go to sort of like a hotel and Mark orders, the husband orders a cooked breakfast, and they say, would you like any extras with that? And Mark goes, yeah, I'll have all the HP sauce or tomato sauce and all that. And the chef's going, I've just prepared this, you don't need sauce on it.
No, of course you do, and lots of salt.
I would have thought so as well, but...
Yeah, but that's being picky, though. I mean, why would you ask a chef what you can put on your breakfast?
No, put on what you like.
Put on what you like, exactly.
A bit of what you fancy does you good.
Exactly.
If you're going to have a massively cooked breakfast, I mean, of course you're going to have ketchup with it.
Of course you are.
Even thinking about it makes me hungry.
You've got to... Well, yeah, you've done it now. Right, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Let's get a check on the weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end to the day. Now, the difference is over the course of the evening, we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less sunshine around. But temperatures largely pushing into 15 to 16 degrees, so that's well above average for the time of year.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB
Thank you you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 eastbound, queues are building between junction 28 at Tredegar Park and junction 24 at Coldra. On the M18 northbound between junction 5 and junction 6 near Doncaster, a road traffic collision is causing lane closures, with clearing expected just after 9:30 this morning. On the M61 southbound between junction 5 and junction 4 near Bolton, a police incident has closed all lanes, with delays of around 40 minutes until just before 10 this morning. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway and Elna are reporting disruption between Lincoln and Newark Northgate and Newark Castle. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
You could be the proud owner of a brand new Benivan 122. This very latest 2026 model comfortably sleeps 4, comes complete with built-in kitchen, compact washroom, and is worth over £67,000. But that's not all, as we'll also give you a further £25,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like in the coming year. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Can the government get a grip of Britain's energy crisis?
Yes, Sir Keir Starmer is holding urgent talks with business leaders today as fears grow over fuel shortages and rising prices.
Well, with a key global oil route disrupted, as we know, and costs already climbing, as we've seen, how exposed is Britain to the deepening Middle East crisis?
Meanwhile, President Trump says he could take the oil in Iran, even as he also hints at a ceasefire at the same time.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely.
Well, meanwhile, more than half of us are struggling to afford everyday essentials, many of us having to dip into savings just to get by.
Yes, and the NHS is set to ration hospital referrals, with GPs told to hold back 1 in 4 patients as ministers scramble to cut waiting lists.
Police say they're keeping an open mind after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians in Derby, but counter-terror officers are assisting in the investigation.
Disgraceful, but I think it's really hard to manage as well, really hard to police and control.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what else I could do about it, but I know it is rife and that we're being overly cautious with our phones while we're here, yeah.
And the Lib Dems say that phone theft has effectively been decriminalised, with new figures showing that over 99% of cases never result in a charge.
The electric vehicle push being branded a joke by some car dealers, who are warning demand isn't there as the 2030 petrol and diesel ban looms.
Hello there, good morning. A chilly day ahead with sunshine and showers, but something a little warmer on its way this week. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Dawn Neeson, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, let's crack on, should we, with what is going on. I mean, it's not just a global crisis, is it? I mean, well, it is a global crisis, but we're really feeling it here in the UK because of these new concerns over fuel supplies. Industry leaders are warning now that disruption to key shipping routes is really starting to push up the costs.
Yeah, we're feeling the pinch in literally every area of our lives. The Prime Minister is set to meet business leaders in Downing Street later today, though, to talk about the impact of the Iran war on Britain and what can be done about it.
Well, it comes as a new study reveals half of us are dipping into our savings or selling possessions just to cover the cost of essentials.
Oh, let's talk now to economics expert and all-round wonderful person, Justin Urquhart-Stewart. Justin, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
None of it is good news. We are feeling the pinch in every area now.
Yes, I hate coming up with bad news, but I'm afraid it's not good news. One bit of consolation is we're not alone. This is a global issue. And remember, we talk about oil and gas. Actually, a problem more worrying is actually what's happening with the constrictions on fertiliser. That coming up, that means countries like India and Thailand, over half of their fertiliser comes from that area. Now, if you start, and that'll impact elsewhere around the world, that starts having a really significant impact on all those other areas. Not just oil and gas, but the food production, all those elements, and the knock-on effect. And the worst thing overall, I think, which is affecting us globally, is this lack of confidence. Everyone's now pulling back and they're frightened. I can understand why. As you said, people dip into their savings because they're concerned about it. And it is, I'm afraid, going to be a very difficult situation. There is no easy answer. You can't just turn the taps on in the North Sea, let's have some more, which we should be doing, at least actually to encourage them to say, look, there are things we can be doing. The government hasn't got an endless pot to be able to actually just say, have some more. It can, of course, say we'll help the weakest, but it's actually the British middle class, the squeezed middle. People tend to forget about them, who've been struggling right the way through all of this, and actually saying, well, how do we manage it? Where's the end to it? And it's very difficult. All you can try and do is give people enough warning as possible and to try and pool resources, whether it's families, groups together, and to be able to make sure they share things, share some of the cost. And I'm afraid that may not sound like wonderfully good news, but at least it gives you something to try and plan for.
Well, this is why, presumably, I mean, the Conservatives and indeed, I mean, Reform as well are talking about getting rid of, VAT on fuel for a temporary basis, getting rid of the green levies, to bring stuff down, which ultimately costs the economy. Though the Conservatives say they would cost for that. But the issue is it gets a bit more consumer confidence going, because otherwise our economy is just going to contract if we all just tighten our belts.
And you're absolutely right, because remember, the primary driver of the UK economy is the consumer. It's all of us going out and having supper or just whatever we're happy to be buying. And so if you stop that, yes, you will actually put a huge brake on the economy. Much better that you actually get rid of some of those green taxes and other areas. It's not actually you stop them altogether, you delay them. You say, look, we can't afford this now, we don't need to do it now, we can actually do it later, in which case give people over the next few years some bit more breathing space. Also make sure, if it's giving people benefit, make sure it's properly targeted. So if people are wealthier and getting a benefit, they can pay it through their tax. And that's perfectly fair and understandable and a cheaper way of doing it, making sure, again, the squeezed middle get best opportunity to actually get sealed with this and not just put it through the benefit scheme.
Justin, we know the Prime Minister is meeting the fuel bosses today, but he's also been attacked by the supermarket bosses for basically saying it's all your fault, you're trying to make money on the back of consumers, you need to sort it out. Surely the buck has to stop with the government. They're the ones that can do something about it.
Well, I have to say, if you look at actually the margins of which supermarkets work at, which is it's fearfully sharp in what they're trying to do. Have there been examples of people overpricing? I'm sure they probably have. I'm much more aware of actually the margins in supermarkets where they actually have been pushing it down. Why? Because it's worth their while. They need to. There is fierce competition. We've got a very very effective retail industry here. Okay, dominated by some big names, but we had smaller interlopers coming in, like Aldi and others, who've actually, again, put more competition, has squeezed those prices down, and it has had an effect. So what you have to do with those companies is to make sure the regulators are on their toes to say people aren't gouging out prices and taking advantage of this. That's absolutely right. But merely putting the blame back onto supermarkets and say your fault to try and do so. No, take a bigger picture and actually say, what can we take off consumers at the moment, delay for the time being, meanwhile look at those other areas of fuel and power which we can actually bring on. And I know people have very significant green issues, but they can be dealt with in due course. We have a short-term issue to deal with. We can manage a long-term issue in the long term. And so be more practical over it. And above all, give people some confidence, some leadership that actually there are things that can be done to help us here.
Right, we're out of time, Justin. It's good to see you. I'm going to order you a cab immediately to take you to number 11 Downing Street.
Yeah, well, quite,
if you wouldn't mind having a word.
Yeah.
I think that would be appreciated.
I'll carry you there at that rate, to be honest with you. Yeah. Justin, thank you so much.
All right, well, let's see what Theo Usherwood makes of it all. He's news editor at the Press Association. I mean, Justin outlines it perfectly, Theo, doesn't he? But I mean, this is what there seems to be some pretty obvious answers which everybody is seeing, apart from whoever's leading the government at the moment, which seems to be Ed Miliband on this.
Yeah, look, the government has taken quite a punchy approach up until last week, where they were accusing the retailers, the price gouging, the suppliers of fuel of price gouging. There's clearly a crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran effectively waging an economic war on Britain, and not just on Britain, the entire West. And then we had, and I think this was the game changer, and Press Association reported on it, was we were on the caller with it was with Alan Layton, the boss of Asda, who insisted actually no, the supermarkets, who are also petrol retailers, by the way, are not raising prices. They're working on very, very fine margins. They're not profiteering from this crisis, and actually, at the moment, their staff and their logistics people are working incredibly hard just to ensure that the pumps are full so that people can fill up when they want to fill up. And that actually they've had to, in some cases, worryingly close some of their pumps at some of their forecourts up and down the country because they cannot meet demand. And the fear from the government's point of view, and this will be behind, I'm sure, the meeting that Keir Starmer has called today, is that if this crisis continues, it is going to be harder and harder to ensure that when people want to go to the forecourt or they want to turn on their energy, that there is energy available to them. And that's why he needs to be and that's why I'm sure number 10 and number 11 will try and work as constructively as possible with those retailers to ensure that actually that Britain can continue to operate. Because as Nick Butler, who is a former advisor to Gordon Brown, has warned, that actually, in a few weeks' time, we could be in a real point of crisis where you've even got you're in effect having to say to people, on some days, according to your reg plate, you can't drive your car because there isn't enough fuel. That's what the government is trying to ensure doesn't happen, that we end up with that kind of rationing, which would grind Britain to a halt.
Theo, do you think there's been enough planning for this? I mean, the fuel bosses say they contacted the government back at the beginning of March to raise many of these issues. The fact that we're now at the end of the month and they're finally getting around the table, surely, I mean, the government must have seen this coming and dealt with it earlier.
The government has seen this coming, but the reality of the situation is that the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened. It is not fully functioning. Iran is able to control what is leaving the Strait of Hormuz, and it is a key supplier of not just of fuel, but of oil, but also of things like LNG. We've potentially got a shortage of supply of CO2 in this country. This is a key shipping strait, and it is absolutely crucial that it is reopened as quickly as possible. But Donald Trump, last week it seemed like there was quite good news. He was going to stave off. He was going to have this negotiation with Iran. Wake up this morning. And now he's looking at seizing an island, which is a key refinery. Is it the island of Karg, just off Iran? And it's full steam ahead. So it's a very febrile situation. But the longer this conflict goes on, and this is the view of every expert, it's going to, whether it be in military or in civil contingencies, is that the longer this conflict goes on, the harder it is going to be for countries, not just Britain, to meet the demand when it comes to key suppliers in this country that we all rely on. We don't necessarily see in our day-to-day lives, but we all rely on.
Theo, thank you so much there. That's Theo Ashwood from the Press Association there.
Right, at 11 minutes past 9, counter-terror police are now supporting officers in Derbyshire after 7 people were seriously injured when a car hit pedestrians.
Yeah, horrific scenes over the weekend. A 36-year-old man has been arrested and police say they're keeping an open mind on the motive.
Let's talk to our national reporter, Jack Carson, who's there for us. What do we know, Jack?
Well, let me give you an update that we've had this morning from Derbyshire Police in the last hour and a half or so. They say a man arrested on suspicion of attempted murder following that incident in Derby City Centre on Saturday evening remains in police custody this morning. They say detectives are continuing their inquiries following an extension to the time that the man arrested can be held for. They say a further update will be provided later today. They continue their urgency, really, for people to be able to provide information to them, dash cam footage, any CCTV we know from the period after the incident at 9:30 on Saturday evening. A lot of the businesses here down Friargate were out helping people. We heard eyewitness testimony of the chaotic scenes here, the distressing scenes when at 9:30 a car went into pedestrians. Police say they were on the scene within seconds and arrested a man just 7 minutes after the incident had happened. They say 7 people suffered injuries which are serious but not life-threatening. Let's remind ourselves of that police press conference yesterday.
As is common practice for an incident of this nature, our officers are leading the investigation with the support of counter-terrorism policing colleagues. I would like to clarify that this does not mean the incident is currently being treated as terrorism.
So you heard their confirmation they're not treating this incident as terrorism at this time, but are keeping an open mind. We saw how much, of the investigation was going on yesterday afternoon with forensic officers up and down Friargate here. It's now back open this morning, that police cordon being removed overnight. But the update really that we've got from Derbyshire Police this morning is that they continue to hold a 36-year-old man who they say has lived in Derby for some time, but is originally from India, in police custody this morning as they continue their inquiries.
OK, Jack, for now, thanks very much indeed.
Jack. Just lots of you are getting in touch this morning. Thank you so much. I apologise for not reading as many out as we possibly can. Lots of you are querying already the petrol price variations at the pumps and saying, a few petrol stations a couple of miles apart and the difference in price is 5p for the same product. What's going on?
It's the market economy, isn't it? It just depends on location. That happens everywhere.
I know, but it's just a couple of miles apart.
Doesn't matter.
A couple of miles.
Doesn't matter.
It's not like a posh bit and a poor bit.
Well, it's because if that's the last petrol station before you're going to see one for another 20 miles, they can afford to charge more for it. Really, I do sort of think there should be a set price.
Well, yeah.
It's ridiculous. I got petrol yesterday. It was 9p a litre cheaper when I got home than it was here in London. Which is a big difference. It still cost me more than £100 to fill the car.
And meanwhile, the other great bit about this story is that you are paying for MPs and ministers' petrol expenses as well. So you're paying for your petrol and theirs. They're not doing anything wrong. They can claim their expenses, but not probably a good look at this time.
Doesn't go down well, does it? Right, time for the giveaway. It's a whopping prize pot of £92,000. Here are the details.
A camper van and cash could be yours in our very latest Great British Giveaway. You could be driving away in this brand new Benevan 122. This 2026 model, worth over £67,000, comes with all of the mod cons you'd expect. Alloy wheels, solar panel, electric step and plenty of storage space. Plus, it comfortably sleeps 4 people. It's the ultimate home from home. And that's not all, as you'll also get an incredible £25,000 in tax-free cash to boost your bank account this year. It's a prize package worth over £92,000 and it could be yours. For another chance to win a camper van and cash, text prize to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2 £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB20 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 1st of May. The winner may be contacted live after all entry routes have closed. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Best of luck to you. It's Holy Week.
Yes, it is indeed.
And we're going to talk to someone who is carrying across, or going to carry across, one of England's highest mountains. We're going to be asking him why in a moment.
Amazing story. We'll see you soon.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Every week there are stories that shape the national conversation.
We'll be discussing that.
And on Saturday Morning Live, we break them down.
Is that true? This is fascinating, isn't it?
The politics, the headlines, the debates everyone's talking about.
And the questions that you want answered. Do you think that was a legitimate attack for him to make?
What led you to set up this fantastic movement?
You know what? It's a great question, Olivia.
So what are you waiting for?
Your weekend starts here. Saturdays at 10 a.m. only on GB News.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Now, it's coming up to 9:20 in this Holy Week, and Paul Robinson is the CEO of a Christian charity called Release International. Now, he's been doing some training because he's going to carry across up Scarfell Pike in the Lake District, my neck of the woods, and he's doing it in the dark.
Yeah, no, it's called the Light Walk, ironically, and it's in June, and we'll see Robinson carry a heavy wooden cross through the night, finishing at dawn.
Yeah, and they're doing it all to draw attention to those Christians who are being persecuted around the world. Let's join him now. Good morning to you. This is one heck of a challenge. Why decide to do this?
Well, it's crazy, really. And you say that I've been training. I've just got back from the Far East and I haven't been doing much training. So it's quite nerve-wracking, to be honest. But I do this kind of crazy thing every now and again. And what I've decided is it has to be difficult, right? Because the people that we're doing it for face challenges that I can't even imagine every single day of their lives. So it has to be hard. Now, it's not just me that's doing it. There's a whole bunch of us doing it. So, I'm going to get some help at least.
And how heavy is the cross exactly?
Well, it's 70 kilos, which I think is about 38 pounds. So it's heavy enough.
Wow.
And it's made of solid acacia wood. And I've carried it around our town, which has been interesting. And it's heavy enough, let me say.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I mean, and also, I mean, I've got to be honest, I know Scafell Pike well. Doing it in the... I mean, it's a dangerous peak. Doing it in the dark, why do it in the dark?
Well, our theme this year for all of our UK outputs, because Release International, part of our work is to strengthen Christians all around the world who are being persecuted for their faith. But another part of our work is to raise their voice here in the UK. So this is just one thing we're doing this year, to raise their voice. And our theme for this year is light in the darkest places. Because what we experience as we travel the world and meet persecuted Christians is, although the persecution is severe and awful, there is always in the lives of Christians the light of Jesus shining through them, which is immensely encouraging. So we're starting in the dark to represent what they're facing, and we're going to greet a sunrise to represent the light of Jesus that shines through their lives in some of the worst places in the world.
Paul, I think it's such an important message, and it's one we don't talk about enough, certainly the persecution of Christians in Africa. To raise awareness is such a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, well, I think it's an interesting thing. In 2013, when I first started with this ministry, I read an article in The Spectator which was provocatively titled "The War on Christians, the most unreported global catastrophe of our time." And I don't think people are aware of the scale. Rigorous statistics show that more than 380 million Christians are being persecuted around the world today, on a spectrum from discrimination, harassment, intimidation, through to violence, aggression, arrest, imprisonment, and even death. Not for committing crimes, but simply for living for Jesus. So this is something that people really do need to be aware of.
Well, we wish you the best of luck and get that if you need to train. Well, I've just looked it up. It's 154 kilograms. Sorry, 154 pounds, which is ever so slightly heavier than me. This cross.
Well, I don't know that it's that heavy, but it wouldn't feel like it.
Well, if it's 70 kilograms, that's 154 pounds.
Oh, good luck.
So you can carry me about if you like in training.
Wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, can I just tell people how to engage with us? So if you search Release International Light Walk Challenge on any search engine, you'll find our Just Giving page. Get involved, please help.
Thank you very much, Paul, and good luck.
Right, coming up 9:30, it's Alex and Miriam. Morning, you two.
Good morning. Well, we're going to be asking, are we approaching a return to rationing? Both fuel, potentially, and healthcare, we're learning today, could be rationed in the next few weeks.
Yeah, not great, is it? And, of course, we're talking about the Welsh Labour Senedd manifesto launch, as well as the Prime Minister in the Midlands launching Labour's local election campaign. That's all coming up on Britain's Newsroom in just a tick.
Here's your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. It's a day of sunshine and showers ahead. Still feeling rather chilly out there, but things are set to turn much warmer from Tuesday onwards. Now, across much of England and Wales, it's a dry, bright start, and although chilly, there will be plenty of sunny spells around. Still a fair few showers coming in off a brisk northwesterly flow. That's going to make things feel that little bit chillier today. But most of these showers by the afternoon easing away, and lots of the country will see some dry weather and some sunny spells. Largely lighter winds compared to what we had yesterday, but still a bit of a chill in the air. So highs reaching around 13 degrees Celsius, but it's likely feeling a bit more cooler than that by this afternoon. Now, later on into this evening, to finish off the day, lots of dry weather still across England and Wales, some clearer skies to finish off the day too. But we are starting to see more cloud push in from the west later on, so any sunshine across Northern Ireland largely turning hazy, and there will still be some showers lingering, mostly around coastal areas of Scotland, remaining largely light, though there's still quite a brisk wind around those coastal areas too. So still some showers across Scotland to finish off the day, but many areas seeing a largely dry and fine end into the day. Now the difference is over the course of the evening we'll start to see more cloud push in from the west. This will be thick enough to produce some light outbreaks of rain and drizzle, particularly across any western hills. And with the added breeze, cloudier skies, that should stop temperatures dropping too low, widely in the mid-single figures as we head our way into Tuesday morning. But on the whole on Tuesday, it should be a much milder feel to the day. Still a bit of a breeze out there, bit of a change to a bit of a westerly direction. So more milder air starting to feed through, but along with this, cloudier skies and still some spells of rain and drizzle. So feeling much more pleasant compared to recent days, though there will be less